Hello and welcome back to another Football Commentaries live stream. It could be the biggest day in either Bromley or Solihull Moors' history, as both are trying to reach the Football League for the first time in their history. For Bromley, they finished third after 46 games in the league, which gave them a pass straight through to the playoff semi-finals, where they faced a strong Altrincham side. After going 1-0 down in the first half, they turned it around in the second half, winning 3-1 with a brace from Miles Weston and a goal in between by Jude Arthurs. The Solihull Moors side are making their first of two trips to Wembley, as they also take on Gateshead next Saturday in the FA Trophy final. But for today, they are in the National League playoff final, as they overcame Halifax in the quarter-final playoff round by 4-2. And then another 4 goals were scored again away at Barnet, who finished second in the league. A 4-0 win booked them a place here at Wembley once again for another playoff final in the National League. So based off the final league table, this is third against fifth, but anything could happen in a one-off game with such magnitude. These two sides have met 3 times this season, 1 win for each and a draw as well. The Solihull win was away at Bromley in the FA Trophy semi-final, but they met twice in April, where Bromley got their revenge in the league, winning 3-0 at home just 3 weeks ago. In a game that means so much to so many, will it be Bromley or Solihull Moors making their first ever steps into the Football League? It is a huge game for both of these sides. You know, the fact that we're going to get a brand new club into the EFL is, I think, really exciting. Solihull were here 2 seasons ago now in the National League playoff final. That one was at the London Stadium, where they were beaten 2-1 by Grimsby in extra time. Bromley have also been at Wembley very recently, 2 seasons ago as well. They were at Wembley in the FA Trophy final, which they won. They beat Wrexham by 1-0. So both have been in the capital for big games. Like I say, Solihull were at the London Stadium for their playoff final 2 seasons ago, and Bromley were here at Wembley for that FA Trophy final, where they did beat Wrexham on the day. But it should be a really interesting game, of course. Solihull at the moment in these playoffs are scoring goals for fun. Scored 4 against Halifax and then 4 away at Barnet, which was a really impressive performance. And for Bromley, they had a pass, like I say, straight through to the playoff semi-final due to finishing third in the league. And, you know, the Altrincham side they come up against, it's a very strong Altrincham side. They were in the playoffs for a reason, and you know, when they take a 1-0 lead, I think Bromley may have started to panic, but the team didn't, and they were able to turn it around in the second half with goals from Miles Weston and Jude Arthurs, which made the difference in the end for Bromley. But it is all down to one game. It is what makes the playoffs so exciting. It could be 90 minutes of football. It could be 120 minutes of football. We could have a penalty shootout. We just don't know. We had a fantastic playoff final last season, which we covered on the channel. We've covered the last 2 now on the channel. We did the Solihull Grimsby game 2 seasons ago, and then we did the Chesterfield and Notts County game last season, which went all the way to penalties, and Notts County were the team to be promoted on that day. But both sides here are in the Wembley tunnel, waiting to enter the precious turf of the Wembley Stadium pitch, as both sides will be led out by their managers. For Bromley, that is Andy Woodman, 52 years of age, spent loads of his career as a goalkeeper coach in the Premier League with teams like West Ham and Newcastle, spent time with Arsenal's under-21s, and this is his first managerial job for Andy Woodman. He took over in March 2021, and he's just really taken Bromley to the next level in the National League. Like I say, finishing third this season. They finished 7th last season, getting into the playoffs, but just falling short, unfortunately, in the semi-final stage to Chesterfield. And for Solihull Moors, they've got a younger manager, 39 years old, Andy Wing, who was brought in the summer from Banbury, where he spent the previous 3 seasons at, promoting them from the 7th tier of English football up to the 6th tier, and he kept them up in the National League North before leaving to join Solihull. So it's been quite the step up for manager Andy Wing, but he's really taken that step up really well. And this Solihull side, who finished rather disappointingly in 15th last season after their heartbreak of the playoff defeat the season before, so to kind of get them re-energised and ready to go again, and for them to push so far to League Two, it's a seriously impressive achievement for Andy Wing. As we'll go through both sets of starting 11s here. If you are new, if you could please like and subscribe, that would really help the channel out. And for Bromley, that's who we'll start with. It is Grant Smith in goal, who's been named in the National League team of the season this morning. It's going to be a back three of Kamal Grant, captain Byron Webster, and Callum Reynolds, with 4 along the midfield. At right wing back, we think it's going to be Louis Dennis. At left wing back is Idris Oditeo, who was brought in February on a permanent deal from Fulham. 2 central midfielders of Ashley Charles and Jude Arthurs, who scored 1 and assisted 1 in the playoff semi-final against Altrincham. And our front 3 on the right is going to be Corey Whiteley, who has played 45 games in the National League season, only missing the final game, and he also played 82 minutes from the start against Altrincham in the playoff semi-final. On the left is the very experienced 36-year-old of Miles Weston, who scored in that playoff semi-final against Altrincham not once but twice. And the main man up front, their number 9, the man they'll be looking to for the goals, is Michael Cheek. 21 goals so far this season in the National League, scored against Solihull in their meeting in April in the National League. And he scored the winner for Bromley last time they were here in that FA Trophy final in 2022. And it does mean just one change for Bromley, and it is a big change. They've had to bring in Louis Dennis, the number 11, for number 28, Ben Crowhouse, who has been absolutely phenomenal for Bromley this season. 51 appearances, 10 goals, but he came off early in the playoff semi-final against Altrincham and couldn't quite return in time to make the squad for Bromley today. As for Solihull, it's 2 changes from their last lineup against Bromley, which was on the 13th of April, and it is Nick Hayes in goal, who joined in December from Ipswich on a loan deal. Kyle Morrison comes in as one of the changes, as Jay Ben can't make the squad. At left back, it is Joe Newton, with 2 centre-halves of James Clark and Alex Whitmore. 2 older midfielders of Jamie Osborne, who's making his 248th Solihull Moors appearance. Alongside him will be Callum Maycock, who came through the Coventry Academy. 3 behind the striker on the right will be Tyree Shade, who's been brought in on loan from Swindon in League 2. On the left is Joe Sabara, who missed the start of the season with a heart problem. He's now been back in the side, and he's scored just the 1 goal in the normal National League season. So sorry about that noise. Sorry about that. Yeah, Joe Sabara is on the left-hand side. Just the 1 goal in the normal season against Fylde in February, but did score in that semi-final against Barnet in the playoffs. Behind the striker, making his 50th appearance for the club, that is Jack Stevens, who they brought in from Banbury, Andy Wing's former club. And he is their leading scorer this season in all competitions, with 17 goals, scoring 3 in a row. And up front, a man they brought in very recently but has had an instant impact, Tavon Campbell from Rochdale for an undisclosed fee. He's come in and scored 9 Solihull goals, including scoring one in each of the playoff games against Halifax and Barnet. So it is 2 starting 11s, a very strong starting 11s, and both sides have a really strong bench as well. Bromley have the likes of Olufella Olamola, who they can bring in, who's can really bring some goals to the side. He's got 10 for the season for Bromley. And for Solihull Moors, they've got the likes of a Mark Beck, who's a big target man up front. He can bring in goals. Hasn't scored since the start of January, but does have 8 altogether for the season. So we've got strong starting 11s, and we've also got strong benches as well, which the managers can call upon at any given time. Interesting to see that It is Solihull Moors who have not gone for a substitute goalkeeper. They have decided to go for 5 outfield players, as that's the amount of substitutes you're allowed in the National League. But Bromley have decided to put in a substitute goalkeeper in Lewis Thomas, who is on loan from Bristol City. And they are the 2 captains there alongside the officials. It is Jamie Osborne for Solihull and Byron Webster for Bromley. Byron Webster, 37 years of age now, very experienced at League One level. That's where he's made most of his career appearances. But he does have 2 playoff wins. Bromley's captain, both from League One, with Yeovil in 2013 and Millwall in 2017. But you can't really separate these 2 sides on the head-to-head this season. Like I say, 1 win each and then the 1 draw, which came at Solihull at the end of September. And then 2 games at Bromley, 1 win each. Solihull winning away in the FA Trophy semi-final on the 6th of April. And then Bromley getting their revenge a week later, 3-0 in the league. Michael Cheek scoring a penalty, Jude Arthurs and Ben Crowhouse also getting on the score sheet in that one. It is at Wembley, can hold up to 90,000. The attendance for last season's playoff final was 38,138. I don't think we'll quite reach that number because these 2 teams aren't quite as well travelled as the likes of Chesterfield and Notts County, but they are more established Football League clubs. But I know Bromley sold up to 15,000. That's what they announced on their Twitter yesterday. Not quite sure where Solihull Moors are at with their ticket sales, but I'm sure during the game we'll find out exactly what the attendances will be for both sides, who's bought how many fans. But it's going to be interesting here. Solihull scoring for fun in the National League playoffs this season. Bromley just needing to get beyond Altrincham, which they did at home last week. 3-1. It'll be Bromley to kick us off, kicking right to left. Solihull Moors left to right at Wembley Stadium for a chance to be a Football League club for the first time, who will take that big step into the EFL. It's Bromley to get us underway. And it is Grant on the ball at right centre-back, not being pressed at the moment. He'll send it down the right-hand side here towards the 18-yard box. It's entered the 18-yard box, but it's a header away for Solihull Moors, and it's just a bit of head tennis in the middle of the park at the moment. Flicked on by Michael Cheek, and it's Whitmore to tackle Whiteley. And it's played back forward by Webster for Bromley. Deflects out to the right-hand side here to Grant, who heads it down the line. It's been kept in here and given away. Tackle there by Osborne for Solihull, but deflects back to Grant for Bromley, who restarts with his goalkeeper on the edge of the 18-yard box of Grant Smith. And we are now underway in this National League playoff final. The goalkeeper goes long out to the left-hand side here. Header won there for Solihull Moors by Kyle Morrison, who comes into the side today for the missing Jay Bent for Solihull Moors. They lose out on the halfway line. On the far side, it's a free kick for Bromley, given away there by number 14, Jack Stevens. Just a little shove there on Kamal Grant, the Bromley centre-half, who's probably had the most touches in the game so far from that right centre-back position. As the free kick goes into the edge of the 18-yard box, it's headed twice away there for Solihull Moors by Whitmore. Put back forward, then Whitmore heads away again. They need to get this under control if possible here, Bromley, and they do on the edge of the area. There's going to be a strike towards goal, and it's just gone wide. That is not far away from Louis Dennis, who himself has been introduced into the team tonight after not starting the game against Altrincham with the left foot, aiming towards that far corner. He's hit it nicely. It's just not curled in enough. Just a little bit too straight. And just wide it goes. That is not far away from Bromley's number 11, Louis Dennis. He's got just the 6 goals in all competitions this season. And he had to come on rather early in the semi-final of the playoffs against Altrincham due to the injured Ben Crowhouse. But it's a good start for Bromley as they work it out to this far side, and they're going to be again putting pressure on the Solihull Moors goal in the final third here. Can they make an opportunity? It's squared across it, where in the box another strike towards goal and just wide again. This time the opposite post. Odeteo from left wing back, the former Fulham man, finding the ball in acres of space, loads of time to have the shot towards goal. And to that far corner, to the goalkeeper's left, who just stood and watched it go wide. It flashed past the post. What a start from Bromley. Less than 3 minutes in, Solihull Moors need to wake up here. Because that could have been 2 easy chances for goals if they'd just gone on the right side of the post for Bromley. But thankfully for Solihull, it's just gone wide. And it's just not quite what we expected from Solihull Moors. We may have expected Bromley to start bright, but Solihull have started rather slow. And they need to sort it out as quickly as possible. As the goal kick will be taken by Nick Hayes for Solihull Moors. Out to the right wing here, where it's a header won by Odeteo. Flicked off the back of Tyrese Shade. And on the halfway line, on this near side, it will be a Bromley throw-in. Much the better side for Bromley, who's just won 5 of their last 10 games in the build-up to this National League playoff final. They lost and won against Chesterfield, the eventual champions, who won the league by 12 points in the end, 12 ahead of Barnet, who were beaten in the semi-final of the playoffs by Solihull Moors, as they've got the ball down the left-hand side, long ball down the line by Joe Newton. Tavon Campbell will chase it, but it'll be Grant to get there first for Bromley, and he calmly plays it back to his goalkeeper of Grant Smith, who's got plenty of time here on the ball. And he'll send it forward in a central area up towards Michael Cheek, who loses out there to Whitmore, but nodded down there by Arthurs for Bromley. And it's now on the right wing here. Can Bromley make something happen? The ball goes into the box. It's a good delivery, and it's straight into the hands in the 6-yard box of goalkeeper Nick Hayes. Not a bad ball there. Into the box. Working it nicely, Bromley, in the opening exchanges of this game. In swinging cross, but straight to the goalkeeper in the end. Like I say, if you are new and you haven't liked or subscribed yet, make sure you do. As both of these sides are looking to try and get into the Football League for the first time in their history. As in a left-back position in the defensive for Solihull Moors, it is with Joe Newton, who finds Alex Whitmore, who was brought in November of this season from Fylde, who just about survived this season in their first season back in the National League. As at the back, it's just in the possession of Solihull Moors, just trying to get a bit of a feel of the game. They've conceded 2 early chances that could have easily ended up as goals. As here is Kyle Morrison. It's now James Clark. Ball inside to Maycock on the halfway line. Finds Sabara. It's now with James Clark, 10 yards inside the Bromley half here. Not many options in front of him. They're all being closed off, and it's been intercepted there by Bromley's number 4 of Ashley Charles, and it's now the side all in white today in the possession of the ball. And there is the number 20 on the ball, Jude Arthurs, came through as a Bromley supporter. Didn't make the squad though in their last trip here to Wembley in the FA Trophy final, Jude Arthurs, but scored an important goal in that playoff semi-final last time out, which has got him in the starting 11 again for this game. Solihull to win it back in a left-back position. They clear it long, down the left-hand side. Campbell can't quite get there ahead of Webster. It's now Bromley back on the ball, just inside their own half here, with their number 17 of captain Byron Webster, who sends it long, up towards Whiteley, headed away for Solihull Moors, but it's kept alive here for Bromley by Jude Arthurs, and out wide it goes here to Miles Weston. Down the line here, good ball towards Dennis, big tackle in there by Whitmore. And it'll be a throw in the final third for Bromley. Brilliant start still for the side who finished 3rd in the league campaign. They finished 5 points off Barnet in 2nd, but they were eventually, at the end of the season, 5 points clear of Solihull, who ended the season in 5th. It's going to be a long throw into the box here. In it goes towards the near post. Header won there by Shade for Solihull. Still alive though for Bromley on the edge of the area. Can they try and work his chance for a shot? It's a nice turn and a strike there by Whiteley, but it's been blocked for Solihull. And it's played out of play there by Jude Arthurs for Bromley. Not on purpose, just couldn't quite keep the ball in the on the pitch there. And it's still just a slightly slow start here for Solihull, but if they can try and survive this slow start and not concede, then the only way is up, really, for Andy Wing's side, former Banbury manager. just the one honour he has as a manager, Andy Wing, the 7th tier title with Banbury, getting them up to the National League North. And this is his first ever season as National League manager, and I think he can tick it off as a success. Solihull Moors throw it into the Bromley half. Webster heads it away though for Bromley. Brought down and flicked away there by Charles. Up towards Cheek, who loses out to Whitmore. Who just gets rid for Solihull. Up towards Campbell, who loses out to 2 Bromley players who were there to win the header. And it's now with Reynolds, who will be pushed from behind there by Campbell. And it'll be a free kick for Bromley, just inside their own half. Just a bit too aggressive there on the tackle by Tavon Campbell, who was brought in from Rochdale after spending the first part of the season on loan at Wealdstone, until leaving in February for Solihull, where he's got 9 goals so far, 1 in each playoff game. For Solihull's number 29. As Bromley are going to launch this one forward with their captain Webster, just to the edge of the box towards Cheek, who can't quite win the header on Morrison. Hooked away by Sabara, and he's completely sliced it and out for a throw-in for Bromley in the final third. Again on that far side where they can just launch this into the box here with a long throw. I mean, it wasn't the intention of Sabara to not kick it away from goal and kick it out wide for a throw-in, but that's how it's ended up being, and it's another chance for Bromley here, as I'm sure the Solihull Moors fans behind that goal are getting slightly nervous with this start. As again, this will just be launched into the 18-yard box with the throw. In it goes towards Webster, header 1 for Solihull Moors, and it's cleared away all the way back to the Bromley goalkeeper of Grant Smith. He will send it forward, a diagonal ball with his left foot. It's a good find. It's headed on by Bromley's Weston, but then given away in the midfield, and Sabara links up here with Osborne, who can't quite get away from his man, and it's a foul and a free kick for Solihull. As Sabara played the ball on there to Osborne, he was brought down, so the referee pulled it back and is given a free kick. Sabara just caught late there by Ashley Charles, the Bromley central midfielder, who was brought in February from Wealdstone. Not scored this season. Didn't score the season before that as well. It's Solihull Moors with the ball down the right-hand side by Clark. He's overhit it and he'll run out for a goal kick, looking for Sabara, who just made a run down the right-hand side. But like I say, just overhit the pass there. James Clark. But it looks like Bromley have a man down at the moment. It is their number 18 of Corey Whiteley, who had started every National League game this season until missing the final day of the season. Played 82 minutes against Altrincham in the playoff semi-final. It's definitely someone they don't want to have to lose, that's for sure. And as you can see by the positions that we're showing on screen, in the Bromley substitutes, they've got a goalkeeper, 2 centre-halves and 2 strikers. They don't really have a midfield option. And he's just caught the injury from his own slide challenge on Jamie Osborne just a minute ago. As he slid in, I think his shin has just caught the studs of Jamie Osborne from his own tackle. So that's why we're having a quick stoppage here in play. As Bromley have got their... Sorry about the noise. Yeah, that's why we've got just a quick stoppage here. They have got their number 29 warming up. I do apologise for that noise outside. I can't do anything about it. But Corey Whiteley's back up. You could just see the mark that was left on him from the stud of Osborne. Like I say, Osborne did nothing wrong. He was the one who was tackled, and it was just unfortunate that his stud has just gone onto the shin of Corey Whiteley. He was hobbling off. I mean, it doesn't look like he's struggling enough to not be able to continue. So after a quick pep talk from his manager, Andy Woodman, I think Bromley's number 18 will be coming back onto the pitch after receiving some treatment from their physio, Hus Torgu. So we'll eventually get back underway with that goal kick for Bromley after that overhit pass from James Clark. And away it goes. It's a long ball forward towards Cheek, who heads it out wide right, can't quite find Weston. And it's a Solihull throw-in. Midway inside their own half on that far side. They've not quite been able to get Michael Cheek in the game so far, Bromley, in the opening 13 and a half minutes. He's got 24 goals in all competitions so far this season, Michael Cheek. 100th goal for Bromley. Came against Wealdstone in a 1-0 away win only a couple of weeks ago, on the 20th of April. He's been such a icon for Bromley, winning them the FA Trophy with the only goal in that game against Wrexham in 2022. So Corey Whiteley's back on. I'm going to presume he's just going to give this a go with this slight little knock he just picked up as it's Solihull on the ball out to this near side here to James Clark, the right back, who finds Callum Maycock. Clark's still an option forward from right back, and he finds him and lifts it down the line, deflects there off Oditeo, and it'll be a throw-in for Solihull Moors, who's finally adventuring towards the Bromley goal here. Not done a lot going forward in the opening 15 minutes of this game. As we're on the halfway line here with Whitmore. Goes to his left, to the left back, Joe Newton. Loads of time on the ball for him. Lays it off for Jack Stevens. And then back to the halfway line to Alex Whitmore. It's now with the right back, Clark. Forward, deflects towards Sabara, but it'll be dealt with by Reynolds first for Bromley, who kicks it off Sabara, and it'll be a throw-in in a left-back position for Bromley. As Corey Whiteley's really trying to shrug this knock-off that he's got, but he does look like there's just that slight bit of pain in his face. He's just jumping around, just trying to really get himself okay to continue. Solihull win it back. Sabara can't quite keep it in though from the flick on from Campbell. And another throw-in in a left-back position for Bromley. Founded back in 1874, Bromley, and have never had a season in the Football League. This is their third National League playoff campaign. They were knocked out at the quarter-final stage in 2021. Made the semi-finals last season, but were beaten by Chesterfield. But this time they've gone one better and made the final. Bromley can't keep it from the throw-in. Dealt with at the back by Solihull Moors and their number 6, Kyle Morrison, who was promoted with Kidderminster from the National League North last season via the playoffs. Now he's one division up in the playoff final. It's just Solihull finally getting a touch of the ball, just kicking it around, everyone getting a touch, just bringing those nerves down a little bit, getting settled, because they started really poorly. Bromley started really brightly, in fairness, but Solihull just seemed off it and just a bit too nervous. And you just can't be too nervous in games like this, because they can get away from you very quickly if you let the opposition have early opportunities. As down the far side, it's a 1-2 between Stevens and Newton, and the left back Newton for Solihull tries to go inside on the edge of the box to Sabara, dealt with though for Bromley, and they clear it eventually through Callum Reynolds. Always finds Whitmore on halfway, who heads forward for Solihull, but played back forward by Whiteley for Bromley. Whitmore needs to deal with it again, touches it down for Osborne. Brilliant little touch there to find the Solihull captain, who will curl it out to this near side to James Clark, who can bring it forward from right back. He goes beyond the halfway line, then into the space down the right side here for Campbell, who's in the box. Angle's tight. No chance for a shot yet, but can he keep it away from Reynolds? No, he can't, because Oditeo comes to help out, and then he can eventually tackle Campbell, and it's cleared up to the halfway line, but headed forward for Solihull by Morrison. And it's now Whitmore, midway inside his own half. Loads of time on the ball for the Solihull number 35, as it's in the centre circle here with Osborne. Goes out to the right to Clark. Shade's the furthest out wide, and here is Tyrese Shade in the right wing position. He's got everything to his left, plays it inside here to Maycock, returns it to Shade on the edge of the area. It goes back to Osborne, about 25 yards out from goal. Finds Maycock, who's in the right wing position himself here. It's Osborne. Does he fancy the shot from the edge of the box? He's overran it, tackle, but falls back to Maycock. Down the line for Sabara, who lays it off for Clark. Doesn't deliver it. Goes to the angle here for Maycock on his left foot. Does he want to work the strike? No, he can't. Finds Osborne. Can they eventually work a strike on goal here, Solihull? Don't think they've done that so far in this game. As midway inside the Bromley half, it's still for Jamie Osborne, who puts a ball into the box, headed away by Oditseo. Needs to be dealt with here by Grant for Bromley in the right centre-back position, and it will. Clears it long up towards Cheek, goes over him and Whitmore. And it'll go through for the other centre-back in the Solihull team of Kyle Morrison, Birmingham-born centre-back. Who can also play full-back, but it does look like it's James Clark at right-back and Morrison at centre-back. Shade still has it. His first pass deflected off Charles and then just deflected back to him. Rather fortunate there for Shade, who's got on halfway here on this near side. Bromley just allowing Solihull to have the ball, setting up in a good shape, not giving away too many spaces for Solihull to try and get through. It's now on the opposite side here with Newton. Forward to Stevens, then returns it to Newton. Brilliant run from full-back, but he overhits the touch and he's tackled by Grant. It's now Weston into the midfield for Jude Arthurs. He's got loads of time on the ball here. Solihull just enjoying a bit of possession, but nothing really materialised from it, which will be rather frustrating for manager Andy Wing. Sorry about that. As soon as I start commentating, the whole house just decides to erupt in noise when it's completely silent beforehand. It's always the way it goes, isn't it? Thanks to everyone who's sticking around. The noise only lasts a couple of seconds because I either mute my mic or people in the house get the dogs to be quiet, so it can just be hard sometimes. As it's 20 minutes in, it's a Bromley cross into the far post by Oditseo, but it's an easy catch for the goalkeeper of Nick Hayes, who started the season off on loan at Southend before moving on to Solihull in December from Ipswich. 25 years old now, the goalie. There was a penalty shout just beforehand. It was Miles Weston entering the box from the right-hand side. A question of a trip there by Jamie Osborne. I mean, there might have been a slight bit of contact, but I don't think enough for him to go down. But nothing was given by today's referee of James Durkin. He was the referee for Solihull's win against Chesterfield back on Boxing Day. It's Solihull to bring it forward on this near side there. Right winger of Shade driving inside into a more central area, but forced to go back here to Clark, who lets it run through for Morrison on halfway. Now with Whitmore going back to his centre-back of Morrison as he's been closed down there by Cheek. It's now left-back Newton exactly on the halfway. He's had a good start, the Solihull left-back. Probably been their best performer so far in the opening 21 minutes. Just looks calm and he looks like he wants to progress his team forward with the ball. It's to this near side with number 2, James Clark. Finds Maycock again. It's now on the halfway line with Morrison. Like I say, Bromley's more than happy to allow Solihull to have the ball, really. Sitting rather deep. Everyone in the Bromley half at the moment in a Bromley shirt. It's now with the goalkeeper. He's midway inside his own half here with the ball. All red kit this afternoon for Nick Hayes. It's now with Morrison. Forward to number 8 of Callum Maycock. Come up with plenty of goals from midfield this season. Maycock, 8 altogether in the National League, but not scoring since midway through March. As it's Tyree Shade in the final third. Can he try and get across into the box here? He goes back instead to Maycock, edge of the area. Goes to his left here to Osborne. He wants to go out to the right-hand side and he slips it through for Shade, who will try and get himself into the box here, try to find a pass to Stevens, cut out by Arthurs for Bromley. And the Bromley side here can try and counter-attack if they want. Down the left-hand side with Michael Cheek. It's now Arthurs. Well won back, though, by Osborne for Solihull. And it's Solihull Moors back on the ball. As just during the game, there's an interview taking place with Jeff Brazier and Solihull forward Matty of Warburton, who's unfortunately for himself not made the matchday squad for Solihull. He's been injured, unfortunately. Not played any minutes of the last 5. As it's Solihull on the ball. Just inside the Bromley half on that far side. Number 14, Jack Stevens, who has not really got involved in the game so far. Then number 14, like I say, top goal scorer in all competitions. But I think what's really impressive about this Solihull run into the playoff final is they lost their top goal scorer, Josh Kelly, to Wimbledon in League 2 in the January window. And that can sometimes derail a team's season, losing such a talisman up front. As Newton towards the byline, can keep it in with the back heel, but he gives it straight to the Bromley side here, who can try and attack down the right-hand side, but given away. One back here by Jack Stevens, running towards goal, cutting onto his right foot, laying it off for Osborne. It's now Sabara, 25 yards out. He's going to fancy the shot, which deflects, and into the gloves of the goalkeeper there. Just deflected off Tyree Shade. Comfortable save in the end, but Solihull Moors eventually have a shot on at goal here. Just flicked off the left boot there of Tyree Shade, who was following the shot in there. As it's Charles for Bromley sliding in to keep the ball away from Maycock and sending it out to the left-hand side into Odeteo, who's kept it in for Bromley. Midway inside the Solihull half. Has to go back, though, to the halfway line to keep possession here with Callum Reynolds, who's played his last 9 seasons of football in the National League, playing for the likes of Dagenham and Redbridge, Barnet, Aldershot, Borehamwood. And this is his 4th National League playoff campaign for Reynolds, and he's never been promoted. As he switches it out to the right-hand side towards the final third. Header away, though, for Solihull by Newton, but straight to Charles in midfield for Bromley. And they work it out to the left-hand side here. Chance, Odeteo's in space. They find him. He crosses low. Dealt with, though, by Osborne. Sends it back out to Odeteo, though, in a left-wing position. So Bromley can continue the attack here. Whiteley. It's now back to Odeteo. There's a ball down the line if he wants it, and he finds it, and he gets the return ball. Down the halfway line with Reynolds. It's now Solihull's time to do some defending here. It's in the midfield here with their number 4 of Ashley Charles. Won the National League South title with Wealdstone, his previous club. As the ball down the left towards Odeteo, he's brought it down and it's had to be cleared away by Clark. And it's a throw-in for Bromley in the final third. Seems like the 2 left-hand side defenders for both teams have probably had the brighter starts. I mean, Idris Odeteo on the left wing back for Bromley's had a brilliant start, and the left back for Solihull Moors of Joe Newton's also been really positive. It's going to be a long throw in here for Bromley. Towel there to dry up that ball. It's going to be their number 16, Kamal Grant, to throw this one in on loan from Millwall. He throws it short though instead. And gets the return ball, but it's just a bit short, so it's going to be another throw in here. Just couldn't get the pass there from Charles. So I think Grant will go for the long throw here. Yeah, he'll launch it in to the near post. It's been flicked away for Solihull. And still alive in the box for Bromley. Maycock blocking the first cross, but it's kept alive here with Weston for Bromley. On his left foot. Clips a cross in, and away it goes. Oh, wow, that noise is. That's terrified me. But out it goes for a goal kick. So experienced. Miles Weston, 36 years old, still playing at a decently high level. He has spent the last 7 seasons of his career in the National League, making 247 appearances, scoring 21 goals. There's a long ball forward here for Solihull Moors. It's in the box for Campbell, who's just shoved off the ball and away for a goal kick. Experienced defending there by Byron Weston, who had to be careful because there was a little push in the back. I don't think it was enough for a penalty, but definitely stopped Campbell from trying to keep the ball in there. I think that's what Bromley have. They have a great mix of really talented, youthful players, and then really strong and experienced older heads in the side with the likes of Byron Webster and Miles Weston. You know, Michael Cheek up front's 32 now. He's just a striker that if you've got him in your team in the National League, you're more than likely going to win games of football with him up front. Solihull in the middle of their own half here, win it back through Maycock, and it sends Sabara away. Not got many options, but he plays it down the line here for Shade, who keeps it away from Odeteo. He's going to run at Odeteo here, Shade. Go on the inside onto his left foot, in the box. He wants to shoot, he will shoot. It's blocked and cleared by Charles, and only as far as the halfway line for Morrison. So Solihull Moors can come again here. I know I will read your comment, I just don't want to miss anything on this game. I do apologise. I do read comments, I just wait for breaks in play. So I'm not rushing reading comments out. That's still on the halfway line here for Solihull Moors with Whitmore. It's now left back Newton, forward to Stevens, who's going to try and run here at Weston, skips beyond the challenger Weston, and with his right foot he'll diagonally play it out to the right hand side to Sabara, who tries to head it back here to Clark, who gets there, and his headed touch forward is just over hit. And how the play it goes for a goal kick. Just not quite clicking when going forward, Solihull. You know, they can keep the ball on the halfway line with their centre-backs who aren't being pressed, but when they're actually trying to get through this Bromley side, they're just struggling at the moment to really find any real spaces and real opportunities to hurt this Bromley side. Yeah, finished 4-1 to Rangers, yeah. And, yeah, I did see the Chelsea score. That surprised me a little bit. The 4-0 result in that one. Starts nowhere. That's we're back with the action here. And it's a Bromley throw-in just inside the Solihull half here on that far side. Osborne not happy with the decision that's gone against his side here. So we're half an hour in, still goalless in this National League playoff final. It's with Grant. It goes back here to Byron Webster in the Bromley half. It's now with the goalkeeper, Grant Smith, 30 years of age now. Played 141 times in the last 4 National League seasons, Grant Smith. Came through at the likes of Reading, Fulham and Brighton. As Bromley go long but can't find Cheek. Headed back to the Solihull goalkeeper there by right back James Clark. And it just seems like we've had a bit of a stale period in this game. We had 2 big chances right at the beginning for Bromley in the first 3 minutes, with 2 shots going just past both posts. As Solihull go long here with Newton, the left back, down the left-hand side. Campbell will chase it. Will it get into the 18-yard box? It will, which allows the goalkeeper of Grant Smith to use his hands and keep the ball away from Tavon Campbell. And he'll put it on the floor and he'll clip it forward beyond the halfway line up towards Cheek again, but the head has been won by Whitmore. That's now Jack Stevens, who's facing his own goal and finds the left back of Newton to keep the ball for Solihull, who've got to come here again next Saturday in the FA Trophy final against Gateshead. They had to beat Bromley to reach the final in the semi-final stage. As they go long there, Solihull with Hayes, and it doesn't aim towards anyone in a yellow shirt. And out it goes through to the goalkeeper for Bromley. Just a bit of a waste there. Sloppy ways to give possession away. Bromley didn't have to get off to a great start this season. They actually didn't win any of their first 5 games. They drew 3 and lost 2, but they did win 7 of the next 8. So they did quickly pick up form. Did have a little bit of a blip though in January through to February, winning just 1 from 8 National League games, picking up 7 points from 24 as Bromley cross into the box to the far post, but behind it goes for a goal kick. Just went past Cheek, and at the far post Weston was just trying to get there late, but entered the box too late after the cross from Corey Whiteley. So it's a Solihull Moors goal kick. And for Bromley it's a 3-hour round trip to Wembley, and for Solihull Moors it's just a 4 hours, so just an hour difference in journey time for today's game. South East London against South East Birmingham. As it's with the right centre-back for Solihull here, Morrison. It's now right back Clark into the midfield to Maycock, who will burst away from Odeteo, and then down the right side to Shade, Holds it up away from Reynolds and then completes a 1-2 with Clark. Shadner can now bring it away from the halfway line. Needs to keep it. Almost slips, but keeps his foot in and plays back out to the right to Clark, who keeps it in but can't find Sabaru with his pass. And it's now back with Bromley here, with Callum Reynolds going across to the right centre-back here of Grant, and now forward to the right wing-back of Weston. Midway side of the Solihull half, he's one-on-one with Jack Stevens. Can he work it onto his left foot? He can, but he just has to pass it back to Grant. And then inside to Jude Arthurs, who's got loads of time on the ball here. Goes back to the halfway line to Webster. Then back to Arthurs again, who's keeping his position on that far side. It's now Webster with the ball. And Jude Arthurs. Solihull just inviting him into the Solihull half here. As he goes back again to Webster. Wow, these unnecessary backward passes are killing me. And they've gone all the way back to their goalkeeper. I know football these days are very much based on, you know, structure and certain set plays and patterns, but some of the backward passing, it does just irritate me. Solihull do clear the ball forward here, and it's with Campbell, the striker, who plays it into the space here for Shade. Plenty of room as he can enter their 18-yard box. The cross needs to be right. It's a low one. It deflects, and it goes away for a corner. Big slide tackle there from Oditeo. And as it came off the Bromley defender, Tyrese Shea just let the ball go out for a corner when he could have actually kept it in on the byline there, but decided not to, and decided that the corner was probably the best outcome. That's now with a right-footed outswinger with the captain, Jamie Osborne. Provided plenty of assists this season, the 31-year-old, alongside his goals. As the referee just wants a word with a couple of the players here, a bit of pushing and shoving in the 18-yard box. So it's just a bit of a delay before the taking of the corner. It's going to be crossed in by Osborne, who goes low, and it's been cut out by Cheek, but he's been tackled in the box by Shea, but it drops back for Arthurs for Bromley, and the counter-attack is well and truly on. Cheek to the left. He's been found, and he gets out to the right towards Weston, but comes off the back of Whitmore. Don't know how much he knew about that, but it's a vital interception, and Solihull trying to get it forward quickly, but cut out there by the captain of Webster, and quickly out to the left flank here. Chance for Bromley, with Whiteley onto his right foot on the edge of the box. He shoots towards the bottom left corner, does not catch it, probably going wide if the goalkeeper hadn't have got there, but Nick Hayes did. And it's Solihull Moors to get back in possession. Bit of a waste there by Corey Whiteley, who scored one brace this season against Halifax in a 2-0 home win in the start of February. And it was two absolute cracking goals. I had a look at them the other day when doing the research for the game. And he can certainly hit them, Corey Whiteley. But that time just didn't catch it, just dragged it. And like I say, eventually it was looking like it was going to go wide if it wasn't for the goalkeeper getting across to just get his body behind the ball so it doesn't go for a goal kick, so it doesn't slow play down too much. So it's with Solihull with their goalkeeper, Nick Hayes, bringing it out of the 18-yard box here, which he's been allowed to do. And just chips it out to the right wing here, headed inside by Clark to Maycock, who can't quite beat Arthurs to the ball, who's brought down but not seen as a foul by the referee. Osborne then takes over, takes on two Bromley players. Osborne with the run, his pass is just deflected away from Campbell and dealt with, but only as far as Newton for Solihull. The attack continues for the side from Birmingham. Osborne just towards the far side here, not rushing the play, making sure they keep the ball, and he finds Joe Newton, then down the line once more to Sabaru, who's just too easily pushed off the ball there by Kamal Grant, who clears it away from Bromley down the right hand side. Can't find Cheek, cut out by Whitmore, controlled by Osborne, keeps the ball away there from Dennis, and it's now on this near side with Solihull Moors right and back Jack Clark. Can go forward if he wants, but decides to go backwards to Morrison. It's now back forwards to Maycock. He's about 5 yards inside the Bromley half. It's now with Tyrese Shade, who's wanting more movement, wanting more options. Just keeps it simple to Maycock. And just the press is not there for Bromley, just happy to sit back. It's Tyrese Shade driving inside. everyone behind the ball for Bromley as he has to just poke it back into his own half to Morrison. And it's now with Alex Whitmore, who started the game well, the number 35 for Solihull, having to defend against Michael Cheek. It was not an easy man to defend against, as Jack Stevens gets away from one tackle, tries to take on Charles, but that's where he's been tackled, but play's been pulled back for the original foul there by Louis Dennis. 31-year-old Louis Dennis just having a few too many nibbles there at Jack Stevens, who still needs to get more into this game because he is the man who can make it happen for Solihull. Thanks to everyone who's here. If you could like and subscribe if you haven't, please do. It really does help the channel out, and it is really appreciated, all the support that we're getting on the channel throughout this season. As it'll be Osborne from the left-hand side. He's just going to float it into the edge of the box towards Whitmore, who can head it forward into the box, which is cleared by Reynolds. Not very far, though. Up in the air for Maycock to head forward to the edge of the area. Headed away, though, by Webster. Controlled by Osborne in the middle of the park, who's waiting for options out wide. Just about squeezes it through to Maycock. It's now down the line for Shade. Maycock continues a run forward, and he will be found. Maycock towards the byline, keeps it in. Cross comes off Odeteo. And there'll be a corner for Solihull Moors. They've got a really good pairing in that centre of midfield, Solihull Moors, with Jamie Osborne and Callum Maycock. Both of them so energetic and really good attacking and defending. So it's going to be another set-piece opportunity here for Solihull Moors, who have eventually found themselves growing into this game. It's going to be a right-footed outswinger from Osborne, who just glides it to the far post where the goalkeeper comes, drops it the first time, but can get on it a second time. And can Bromley try and quickly attack? No, goalkeeper just holds on to it. And it allows Solihull to get back into a defensive shape. And Bromley just to restart again from the back. Still with their number one here, Grant Smith, who will send it forward to the left foot. It's a big kick out to the right hand side. It's too big. Well over the head there of Miles or Weston. And out for a throw in the left back position for Solihull Moors. And with their number 3, Joe Newton, who came in at the start of this season from Havant and Waterlooville for an undisclosed fee. Started 43 times last season in the National League South, and has now made himself the number 1 left back at Solihull Moors. It's cleared away for Solihull by Whitmore up to the halfway line, where it's headed forward for Bromley by Charles. And it can reach Dennis. Whiteley through towards Cheek. He gets there ahead of Whitmore, and Cheek can slide it home. It's not quite been his day today, but he only needs one chance and he's taking it. He scored the last time he was here in the FA Trophy final, scoring the only goal against Wrexham. He scored here again, making it 1-0 again for Bromley, this time in the National League playoff final. And it's probably the first time he's had the beating of Solihull centre-back Alex Whitmore. And he's taking the chance to score the goal for Bromley. It's now 25 for the season. The centre-back Alex Whitmore is absolutely furious. He's not won a foul there, as he was shrugged off the ball by Cheek. It was a ball through by Whiteley, and Whitmore believes he was tripped as Cheek was putting him under pressure. Whitmore in the box, fell to the ground. Oh, I think it's a foul for me. Just clips him, sends him to the floor, which allows Cheek just to run through right-hand side of the box. Yeah, he's tripped him. That's a foul for me. That's poor refereeing. Cheek doesn't get the ball if he doesn't trip Whitmore. And the trip sends the defender to the ground. Cheek goes through, slots it into the bottom left corner. It's a very tidy finish. You can't take anything away from Cheek in terms of the way he scored the goal, but the way he got the chance can be questioned. But Bromley won't mind because the goal's been given, and it's Bromley 1, Solihull 0 in this National League playoff final. 2 seasons ago, Solihull Moors were in this position in the National League playoff final, but they took the lead in that one against Grimsby and ended up losing 2-1 in extra time. This time they've gone behind, and to me, I think they're quite unlucky that wasn't given as a foul. Just tripped him. Cheek kicking his leg onto his other leg, which made him fall. But can Solihull try and respond as quickly as possible? Osborne, is he tripped there? No, he's not, but play will continue here on the left-hand side for Solihull Moors in the final third. Campbell running into traffic, but the traffic's giving us a foul. And it'll be a free kick on the edge of the box, just to the left-hand side here. Yeah, there's definitely a sense of the big frustration in the whole Solihull team, not just the players, but the manager as well. The first one should have been a foul on Campbell, by the way. That wasn't given. I think that's also something they're rather frustrated about. No, Andy Wing doesn't want it. Andy Wing doesn't want to hear it from the fourth official. He is not happy, the 39-year-old, and I sympathise massively with him. Right before half-time as well. It's not a great time to concede. But they've got a chance to equalise it. It's Osborne from the left-hand side with his right foot. If they need the captain to put in a good delivery, it is now. Osborne about 25 yards out. Just clips it into the box, header one. And it drops here for Solihull. First shot blocked there for Shade. But it's still alive in the area. Just about cleared though by Charles. But it's still alive for Solihull on the halfway line with their centre-back of Kyle Morrison. It's now to the left-hand side to Osborne. Got Stevens in front of him. Osborne instead on his right foot. Running across the pitch. Tripped there by Charles. And it's a quickly taken free kick by Solihull. It's now with the left winger Jack Stevens, who crosses with his right foot. It's a deep one and it's gone past the post. The goalkeeper was very confident that that was going wide because he let that through. Not a bad ball in though by Jack Stevens. As it's 1-0 currently to Bromley. Michael Cheek with the goal. Getting into the box. I mean, there's contact for sure. The ball was going towards the Solihull goal. But the trips obviously stopped Whitmore from chasing it down, which allowed a free pass for Cheek just to get onto it. And like I say, very calmly just slot it into the bottom left corner. But there'll definitely be question marks of if that was a foul or not on Alex Whitmore, the man brought in from Fylde. Cheek flicks on. Dennis goes over and keeps it. Try to play out to the right to Miles Weston, but it's won back there by Jack Stevens. Across to the right-hand side is Sabara into the Bromley half. Can Solihull Moors answer back before the break? 3 minutes have been added on here. We've already played 30 seconds of it. Maycock on the right-hand side here. He's got Clark Furvish right and he finds him. Lays it off behind him to Sabara. Inside to Maycock. He's forced to go back though to Shade. He goes across to the left now to Whitmore. It's now with the left back, Joe Newton. Bit of time on the ball to find his next pass, but has to go back to Whitmore on halfway. It's now in the centre circle with Morrison. Works it to Clark. He's got space to bring it forward here. Goes out wide right here to Sabara. Finds Maycock. Goes back to goal, so lays it off to Sabara again. It's been patient here, Solihull Moors, waiting for the right opportunity to get the ball in the box. Osborne lifts it forward towards the edge of the box where it's headed backwards by Webster for Bromley, then headed forward in the end by Reynolds. It's alive for both teams to take possession. In the air it is. Osborne tries to win it, and by winning it he fouls Cheek. And there'll be a free kick for Bromley with 90 seconds left of this first half where they do trail. They started off slow, but they definitely picked it up, Solihull, but they haven't really done a lot at the Bromley goal. You know, they keep the ball nice and tidy, but at the end of the day, they need to be creating better chances to try and get a goal, which they now need in this game. Big kick forward from the free kick into the box towards Cheek, headed down by Whitmore for Solihull, and then thumped away by Stevens, up to the halfway line towards Campbell. It's bounced through towards Webster, who heads it back to Reynolds, and headed it forward to Arthurs. Well dealt with for Bromley. Jude Arthurs on the ball to the right centre half of Grant. Down the line, it's a big kick. It's a bit too big. And straight out of play for a goal kick. And Solihull Moors just got over 30 seconds left of this first half. That's with the goalkeeper, Hayes, bringing it forward and putting it into the space here for Morrison at right centre-back. They want a chance before half-time. They've got to move it quickly. But no, Morrison goes back to the goalkeeper. Oh my word. Why is he going backwards there? I don't get this at times. I'm all for, passing and keeping the ball, but some of these passes are just so unnecessary at times. As Solihull attack down the left wing, their striker Campbell's just peeled out to the left wing and linking up with Newton, who's tackled well there by Weston, who clears it down the right-hand side. And that'll be the end of the first half here in the National League playoff final. Bromley lead by a goal to nil. Of course, it's their number 9, Michael Cheek, who's put them ahead right before half-time. It's a controversial goal from the Bromley star man. Found his way into the box and slotting the ball into the bottom left corner. But as he entered the box, he seemed to have tripped the Solihull centre-back of Alex Whitmore, which allowed Cheek in one-on-one with the keeper. And very coolly and very calmly, he just passed it along the ground into that far corner, giving Bromley the lead. There'll definitely be question marks if that was a foul by Cheek in the box on Whitmore with that cheeky little trip. But the goal was given by the referee. And at half-time, after the first 45 minutes here at Wembley, it's Bromley 1, Solihull Moors 0. Very interesting first half there. I thought that was a foul, in fairness. The ball was going through towards the goal. Whitmore's running for it. Whitmore would have got there first, but was just clipped by Cheek, which sent him to the floor. And then as he was sent to the floor, that just gave Cheek a free pass to run through and finish it. But the referee didn't see it as a foul. The assistant referee on the far side didn't see it as a foul. So, at the end of the day, Solihull have kind of just got, as hard as it is, they've kind of just got to forget that has happened and just go again in the second half. They can't let that annoy them too much or linger in their minds, because that will have a knock-on effect in the second half where they might not be able to put a 100% performance in, because Solihull started really slowly. Bromley had 2 big chances at the start of the first half. Odeteo putting one just wide, and there was also another shot just put wide. I think it was by Corey Whiteley in the end, or it might have been one Miles Weston, can't quite remember. But they did grow into the game, Solihull, in fairness. They started to get more of the ball, but just could not get through. Just could not get through the Bromley defence to really create anything of anything noteworthy, really. Not really tested the goalkeeper of Grant Smith. And it is difficult, especially against this Bromley side who, when defending, can turn into a back 5 with, that is a back 5 as well, in fairness. Odeteo, Reynolds, Webster, Grant and Weston, who's playing as the right wing back. That is rather challenging. But they've got to try and do something. Solihull Moors have scored 8 goals in the playoffs. They scored 4 in the quarter-final against Halifax and then scored 4 away at second place Barnet. So they can definitely score, Solihull Moors, but Bromley can also defend. Bromley have only kept 2 clean sheets, though, in their last 8, including their playoff game against Altrincham, where they failed to keep a clean sheet. Bromley also picked up the least amount of losses this season in the entire division. They kept less losses than Chesterfield, with 9 altogether. And the thing is with Solihull as well, I know both teams are technically away, obviously at neutral ground, but Solihull's record away from home this season has been unbelievable. They got the most points away from home from any team in the division, more than the leaders and the title winners, Chesterfield. They won 11 of their 24 away games that they played this season in the National League. They've just lost 1 of their last 10 away from home, and that loss for Solihull was away at Bromley back on the 13th of April, just less than a month ago. Thanks to everyone who's tuned in. Make sure you do stick around for the second half and like and subscribe if you haven't already. 5-0 to Chelsea's crazy. Brighton have scored a winner, it seems. João Pedro. So that will just trip up Aston Villa in their race for Champions League football. Just allow Spurs to hang in there if they can win their games in hand. But we are covering Aston Villa's next game, which is away at Olympiacos in the Europa League Conference League semi-final, where they trail 4-2, where they have to go to Athens. But if you want to become a member as well, you can do. If you're on PC, it's just next to the subscribe button, where I bring one weekly members only podcast where they're about 20, 30 minutes long, and we just cover different subjects. So the first two podcasts have been on the Premier League title race, and then the other one was on the Champions League semi-finals and who could win it and all that. So if you want extra content, you can become a member. You get some stickers as well becoming a member. So it's all pretty cool, and it does massively help the channel out, but you don't have to. Content right back, Mike. Okay. So it's a lot of work for Solihull Moors to do, because they'll be naturally frustrated going behind in a National League playoff final anyway before half time. But the fact it's coming the way it did, there's a question: was there a foul in the build up to the goal? That will just, times that frustration by 10. But they've got to just try and block it out and go out in the second half and almost use it as fire, to really ignite their fight to get back in this game, because, at the end of the day, it'll just lead to regrets if they don't give this a go in the second half and they just get too overly frustrated. Because don't get me wrong, as the more the game went on, Solihull settled in and, they keep the ball nicely. They have their patterns of play and you can see what they try and do. But at the end of the day, it's about getting shots on a goal, and they didn't do enough of that in that first half. And Bromley just looked really settled. Without the ball, with the ball, they just looked really calm. And at the end of the day, that's what will bring them promotion, that calmness, that settledness in the game. And, such a big game for both teams. Both teams have never been in the Football League, which is crazy. I mean, Solihull were only founded in 2007. They were merged together as a new club. So Solihull haven't been going for too long. But Bromley, as we mentioned before, founded in 1874. They won the National League South just the once in 2015. They won the FA Trophy once in 2022 in their last trip to Wembley against Wrexham. It's definitely, I just feel like Andy Woodman, the Bromley manager, has just got his side set out better and just prepared better for the mental side of the game, I think. But, there's still another 45 minutes to play. We could possibly get extra time and even penalties. So it's definitely not me, ruling out Solihull Moors. I'm just a little bit worried that the way they've conceded that goal before half-time might just have a knock-on effect into the second half. Because at the end of the day, they've got a young manager, Andy Wing, who's managing in this division for the first time. His last club was Banbury. Before that, he's worked as an assistant at Hereford. He also worked in the youth setup at Kidderminster. So this is a really big occasion for the manager. He's not been in this situation a lot of times in his career, or at all in his career. So he's definitely be a learning curve for Andy Wing, no matter which way it goes. But you do feel like he has that lack of experience in these sort of occasions compared to Bromley's manager, Andy Woodman, who's been at the stadium and done it before. And due to both of these sides not always being in the National League, the first time these two sides met was in August 2016. They have played each other 18 times now, 16 of them in the National League. And the first meeting was a 1-0 win for Solihull Moors. Liam Daly with a goal in the 6th minute, who now plays for Stratford Town. So, real Solihull and Bromley fans will remember that game. But Bromley just have a really good record against Solihull. I mean, head-to-heads don't count for too much in playoff finals, because at the end of the day, it's a one-off game. Anything can happen. But Bromley have only lost once against Solihull Moors in the last 9 National League games, even though they did lose to Solihull in that FA Trophy semi-final last month. And for Solihull, they started off really well against Bromley in the head-to-head. Solihull won 6 of the first 7 games of their head-to-head, but have only won 2 of the last 11 against Bromley in all competitions. So if you're into your head-to-head and your stats and you think that means a lot, then, at the end of the day, off a head-to-head, it's probably Bromley you'd fancy. You'd probably put your money on Bromley to go and clinch this promotion through the playoffs. Second half will be getting underway in around 4 or 5 minutes time, as it's definitely going to be an intriguing second half. I mean, playoffs are always intriguing. They are this is the best form of football. I mean, it is the most heartbreaking, heart-aching way to lose a game of football in the playoffs. But the elation of winning doesn't it doesn't compare. Last season I mentioned it a lot that I support Stockport County, a season ticket holder, and we were in the League Two playoffs last season, and we had to beat Salford in the semi-finals. We lost the first leg 1-0, and then the second leg we got an equaliser, and then it went to extra time, and then Salford scored in extra time to put themselves ahead, and that deflation of thinking that's your season done, and then we equalised to send it to penalties and winning on penalties. It was just, honestly, the emotions is absolutely just, I mean, it's the worst and best thing, isn't it, about football. And then, we won't talk about the playoff final against Carlisle, losing it on penalties at Wembley, but it's just, I've always admired the playoffs as a neutral. I just think they're so fun, and they're just, anything can happen in them. But since experiencing it as a fan as well, you just get the other side of how awful it can be to lose, or to have things not go your way in the playoffs. It's not nice, but at the end of the day, that's the way the football pyramid works in England, and that's why it's the best football pyramid in the world. And for the first time in their histories, one of these two clubs will be making their first steps into the Football League, into League Two. As I'm interested to see, I don't think any changes will be made before at half time. I think it will more than likely stay the same, but substitutes will be made throughout this game, and it's just up to those substitutes to make the difference and put their names into the histories of these two sides. And I think for Solihull, I mean, their main priority will be promotion today, but they do have that FA Trophy final next week, and you just don't want, say if they do lose today, Solihull, which I'm not preempting because I don't want them to lose. I don't want any of the team. I'm not bothered who wins, but I just wish there was no loser. I wish they could just both be promoted. But if they do lose today, you just don't want that to hang over into next week, because they've got to come back to Wembley. They'll have bad memories of Wembley with the fact that they might lose today. You feel like it could be a double blow if their mindset's not right. They could lose today, then they might have a bit of a hangover into the final next week in the FA Trophy against Gateshead, where they maybe go on and lose again, and then that's a really, it's a negative end to a brilliant season. So there's a lot on here for, obviously, a lot on for both teams, obviously, but for Solihull, you feel like it could have a little bit of a knock-on effect going into next week against Gateshead in that FA Trophy final. Second half is going to get no way though. In a minute's time, there's Bromley lead against Solihull Moors. South East London against South East Birmingham in this final, and it could be back-to-back playoff final losses for Solihull. They lost at the London Stadium 2 seasons ago against Grimsby, who still remain in League Two after their playoff promotion. But Solihull, I mean, even if this doesn't end the way they want it to with promotion, the bounce they've had this season compared to last, finishing 15th last season, they only picked up 58 points. They picked up 18 more points this season. They won 6 more games, lost 6 less games as well. So it can be very easy to just overshadow the progress you've made just after one disappointing result. They've got to use this no matter what the result is and go again next season. I'd like to know what people. I don't know if anyone's watching the game, or I might have a look at Twitter in a minute. I just want to see if anyone else thought that was a foul on the in the build up to the goal. The trip from Michael Cheek on Alex Whitmore. Obviously, it wasn't given in the It wasn't given in the game. It was given as a goal, no foul. I'm sure the Solihull fans will think that probably should have maybe have been a free kick and no goal, but you can't go back and change the decision now. They've just got to deal with it and go again and try and turn this game around. Yeah, I think quite a few people think it's a foul. Just having a quick look at Twitter. So, it's just football, isn't it? It's the way it goes. It's just difficult sometimes because you've got people who with like VAR in the Premier League. People don't like VAR because it can overcomplicate the game a little bit, but then without it, you do get referees only getting one go at making a decision in the game. If the referee, I'm never expecting VAR to make it to the National League, but to say VAR was used in this game, I think the referee would have had a look at that and probably overturned it and give a foul instead. But that's what it is in the non-league. This is what makes it so special, The ref has one go at calling for a foul or an offside maybe from an assistant referee, and whatever decision they make, it has to stand. And as football fans, you've got to accept it, and that's what Solihull have to do at the moment. They have to accept it and try and move on as the second half is going to be getting underway. Both teams will be attacking towards their home support, so that'll be nice for both sides. If they do score in the second half, it'll be in front of the travelling support. As it'll be Solihull to kick off, kicking right to left. Bromley, left to right. They lead Bromley by a goal to nil. Of course, it's Michael Cheek with that goal, scoring again against Solihull for a second time this season. 2 in a row now, scored in the last time they met from the penalty spot. And it's Solihull just to keep possession from kick-off on the halfway line with Maycock, the holding midfielder. Goes to the right back of Clark. Now Whitmore, the centre-half. Again, no press from Bromley. Don't need to press. Just making sure the spaces aren't open for Solihull to exploit. There's a long ball down the line. It's picked up here by Sabara. Tries to go forward to Stevens, but cut out here by Weston, who lifts it over the top here for Bromley, but no one's chasing that one. No one's near it. Straight through to the edge of the box to the goalkeeper for Solihull of Nick Hayes. It's now up to the far side to the right back, Clark. Goes forward, down the line, looking for Shade. It's a nice ball towards him. And Shade will be slide tackled there by Callum Reynolds. And the assistant referee was also slide tackled as well. Just about kept his feet there. The assistant referee on that far side. Almost being tripped. Almost a double whammy there with the tackle going in. But it will be a Solihull throw-in the end on the far side. It looks like Solihull Moors have a long throw of their own. It will be taken by Tyrese Shade, the loanee from Swindon. Second spell at Solihull Moors. As he launches it into the box. Header won by Reynolds for Bromley. Back out towards Shade, who will tackle Arthurs and put it back in towards the box where it's been cleared by Reynolds. Out to the left-hand side where it's been headed on here for Bromley. Cheek holds up and it goes forward in the end, and Cheek gets the ball back and then tries to go down the line here towards Dennis, who loses out in the end to Morrison, and it's a throw-in for Solihull Moors. Good defending by Kyle Morrison. It's now the right back Clark bringing it away from Cheek and going into the middle here to Maycock. We're still in the Solihull half at the moment as they adventure forward. Looking out to the left-hand side, and it's now Newton in the Bromley half. Forward to Stevens. Bit of space to run into here for Stevens. Onto his right foot from the left flank. Laying it off for Sabara. He's now in the final third with the left-back Newton. Stevens on the ball, being closed down there by Arthurs. Working it to Osborne. who's got Sabara in the most space, and he finds Solihull's number 7. Finds Maycock, returns it to Sabara on the edge of the area. Campbell from the edge of the box, he's going to shoot, he's parried, Sabara on the rebound, and Solihull equalise. What a moment for Joe Sabara. He was a part of the Solihull side who lost their last National League playoff final 2 seasons ago. And in that game he assisted the Solihull goal. This time he scored it right after half-time. It's the response they needed. After a frustrating first half, the second half has started as positive as it could have gone. What a start. Joe Sabara of the goal, doing what every good player knows what to do as an attacker, following shots in. He started from the left wing, completed a 1-2 with Maycock. And then Sabara found Campbell, who decided to shoot, just drilled it towards the bottom left corner. Could the goalkeeper have held it? I think he could have. Instead, he just palmed it out right in front of him to a on-rushing Sabara, who from a couple of yards out, yes, in fairness, it's a decent save. It took a slight deflection, the first shot from off Reynolds, straight to Sabara, who just slotted it underneath the arm of the goalkeeper of Grant Smith. And right after the break, it's Bromley 1, Solihull 1. Great start from the Moors, and they are level at Wembley. Just over 4 minutes in now. That's how quick it's gone for Solihull to score in this second half. And now it's Bromley who need the mentality to try and bounce back if they can. You knew Solihull was going to score. You know, they have to with the attacking threat they've got up there and the talent they've got up there for all this division. So get the timer going now for everyone here. Is Tyree Shade on the right wing, can't go inside to Sabara, cut out, and Bromley now go forward with Cheek. Can't quite keep it away from Morrison because he's been slide tackled and the referee seen it as a foul. Just on the halfway line. I thought he'd won the ball there, Morrison, but referee disagrees. Yeah, I think he just got the man there, I think, not the ball. Surprised he's not been butt there, in fairness. Kyle Morrison. So it's now Bromley's chance to try and maybe launch this in. It's in the centre circle. The free kick, it'll be taken by Jude Arthurs. The 22-year-old. Scored and assisted in the playoff semi-final against Altrincham. And now he delivers the ball into the box here. It's headed away by Whitmore for Solihull. Kept alive though here for Bromley. It's with Weston. Once on his left foot. 1-on-1 with Stevens, but Weston just gets the ball stuck under his feet, and Stevens has it now for Solihull in a left-back position. Plays it to the left-back of Newton. It's now Stevens again towards the byline, just getting this one clear this time. Up to the halfway line, can't find Campbell, volleyed into the air for Bromley. Up towards Grant, who heads it on, but it's stopped there for Solihull, and it's now with Sabara, the goal scorer. And then Osborne to the goalkeeper of Hayes, and now all of a sudden the momentum's with Solihull, and they look like the team who's going to score again. Clark from right back, long ball forward, in behind for Campbell. Just about gets the touch, but straight to Reynolds. Can't quite get the touch in front of him there, Campbell. It's now back with Bromley, with their central centre-back of Webster. Now to the goalkeeper of Smith. Clears it forward out to this Bromley right. Controlled by Newton, and he can't quite keep it in. Bit of a cheap throw-in to give away there. Just towards the final third for Bromley on this near side. It's now Bromley on the ball with their right centre-half of Kamal Grant. On loan from Millwall, captain during his days at Millwall in their academy tides. It's now on the halfway line with Callum Reynolds, very experienced 34-year-old defender. Scored 3 times from defence this season. Started his career at Portsmouth. But played the majority of his career in non-league. Still on the halfway line for Bromley with Byron Webster, who spent 2 years of his career in Czech Republic at Baník Most from 2007 to 2009. Very well-travelled player. Byron Webster, who came off the bench last season in Bromley's semi-final playoff loss to Chesterfield, but now he's been a starter all season. As Bromley attacking to the box here, Jude Arthurs towards the corner flag here, keeps it alive. It's now with Weston. Cross goes in first time by Dennis, but straight into the hands of the goalkeeper in the 6-yard box, and Hayes quickly throws it out to the right wing towards Shade. He's overlaunched it. And it'll be dealt with here by Reynolds, who plays it down the line here for Bromley with Odeteo, whose touch is too heavy. And as his touch was heavy and he was trying to chase it down, it looks like he may have just caught Joe Sabara. The referee disagrees, though. Stevens, sorry. Stevens who's down. I think Sabara was the one who was almost caught. But then Stevens is now down for Solihull. Let's have a look. Odeteo down the line. Sabara came over. Yes, maybe caught him, but it was accidental. Not a foul for me. And Stevens has also gone down after contact off the ball in the last attack. Hopefully he'll be okay to continue for Solihull. Does seem in a bit of pain at the moment. Solihull's number 14. Making his 50th appearance for the club today. But what a time for Solihull to score straight after the break. Good 1-2 between Sabara and Maycock. And it was Sabara who found Campbell. His shot was just slightly deflected towards the bottom left corner, where the goalkeeper had to just palm it out into play, where Sabara followed in the Campbell shot, like any good attackers do, and just drilled it underneath the goalkeeper who tried to recover. And Joe Sabara knee sliding towards the Solihull fans. What a moment it was for him. Joe Sabara missing the start of the season with a heart problem. Only made his first appearance on Boxing Day of this season. But now that's his third of the season. He's scored in both of the last 2 playoff games for Solihull. Scored in that 4-0 away win against Barnet. Now in the final against Bromley. His best season for Joe Sabara was in the last season that Solihull reached the playoff final in the 21-22 season. He scored 18 goals in 46 National League appearances. He has featured for England's C team twice as well, Joe Sabara, which is like a non-league England team who play once a year. Not scored though in any of the 2 games. But we are just getting a pause in play because of that Jack Stevens knock that he's still getting treatment for. He is back to his feet on this near side, so he'll be allowed back in play whenever the referee decides him to, but allows him to come back on. But it will be Bromley throwing on the far side to Solihull physio, who's just making sure that Jack Stevens can continue in this game. So back underway. The throwing goes backwards for Bromley. It's now in the centre circle with their captain Byron Webster. It's to Kamal Grant at right centre back, who goes across to Callum Reynolds. 5 yards inside the Solihull half, lifting it down the left-hand side. It's a great ball to Odeteo, who controls it and crosses into the box to the far post to Weston, who gets onto it. Doesn't quite catch it. Wide it goes. Coming in at the far post there, Miles Weston scored twice in the semi-final against Altrincham. Really good ball from Odeteo, finding Weston, who just entered the box alone. And it just bounced in front of him, I believe. Yeah, just bounced, so it was a really difficult technique to get the shot on target. But it's a bit better from Bromley, who have just been a bit shell-shocked from the start that Solihull have had in this second half, as we are at 12 minutes in. It's a short ball back to the keeper, and it's a penalty. Cheek got in there ahead of the goalkeeper, who had to slide in. And we've been talking about some unnecessary passes that have been made in this game, going backwards for no reason, and that's one of them. No need to go to the goalkeeper. The pass was short. The goalkeeper came out, had to try and get there. Cheek beat him to it. He went flying, and he's won his side a penalty. No card yet out from the referee yet. It's definitely a penalty. But what an awful back pass that is. Hayes, the goalkeeper, came, and when you come, you've got to get there. If not, it's a penalty. It's a shocking back pass, that, from Morrison. Sold him so short. And Hayes just came in and absolutely clattered Cheek. And it's a chance for Bromley to regain the lead. And it will be Michael Cheek again. He's already scored today. He'd already scored at Wembley before today. He loves this place. And he scores again. Drilling it to the bottom right corner. Sending the goalkeeper the wrong way. He is the man for the big occasion. And he's stepping up once again for Bromley. Michael Cheek with the goal. He's now 26 for the season. It's his third goal here at Wembley. And Solihull, who have been the better side in this second half, have had all their good work unravelled due to one bad back pass and a flying goalkeeper challenge that went horribly wrong. And Michael Cheek just blasting it down the middle, in fact. Maybe slightly to the right side, but mainly down the middle. And Andy Woodman, the Bromley manager, is absolutely delighted. And with just over half an hour to play, it's Bromley 2, Solihull Moors 1. Big goal from a big player, quite literally. 6'1" Michael Cheek. And could this be the goal that sends Bromley up? They know it won't be over yet. They know they've got work to do because Solihull will come back at them. But it's just nice in a game like this to have a lead. That is for sure. Solihull try and get in behind. Odeteo, who's tripped by Shade and in a left-back position. That will be a free kick for Bromley. Again, we mentioned it so many times in this game. It's just now Solihull not becoming frustrated, staying calm, and just understanding that they will get chances in this game again. Just showing the goal. Again, Whitmore going across the box to Morrison and then to the goalkeeper, just plays it too short. I just find it unnecessary. I think the unnecessary pass there is the first pass from Whitmore, going across his box to Morrison. It's just not needed. He's got his left back, he's got his left winger, he can go in midfield. I just don't feel like he's got to go across the box there. And then once Morrison got it, he was getting closed down pretty quickly, which made him have to go to the goalkeeper. And the pass was quite simply rubbish, and Solihull have been punished. As we're going to get a first change here. It's going to be Bromley to make the change. It's going to be their semi-final hero of Miles Weston, the 36-year-old. He will be replaced here by number 42, Will Davies, who was brought in March of this year from York on loan. Just his 7th appearance for Bromley. Didn't play any minutes in the semi-final against Altrincham. And it's actually the centre-back, Alex Kirk. I do apologise. So, another loanee, this time on loan from Arsenal. Subbed on the 66th minute in the semi-final, Alex Kirk. So, just making themselves a bit tougher to beat Bromley with another centre-back added into the team. Osborne loses out in the midfield here. Whiteley keeping it, playing it to his left to Charles. Midway side the Solihull half. Charles got options out to the right, and he finds a pass here. Arthurs. It's now Kirk, the new substitute. Arthurs again on the angle, going down the line to Kirk. And then back into Arthurs. There's 3 in the box, but they just keep it in the midfield with Charles. Zips it into Kirk, who's not quite ready for that pass. That was a bit too heavy. And Solihull can try and break if they can. Sabara finding Maycock. Loads of time in the ball in the midfield. Playing it to his right to Clark. On once more to Shade, but Odeteo slides in. Throw in just in front of the halfway line for Solihull. Taken quickly by Clark to Maycock. Shade. Got Odeteo on his back, but he can keep the possession going to the centre half of Whitmore. Jack Stevens just not been good enough today for Solihull, their main man on that left wing. Jack Stevens, their leading goal scorer in all competitions, scored on his Solihull debut. Jack Stevens back in March last year in a 1-1 away draw at Oldham. It's Campbell, the striker, chasing the ball down the line, and he just pushes Reynolds in the back there. And it'll be a free kick for Bromley. Experienced defending there from Reynolds to go down to win the free kick. Just not enough of Solihull's star, that's their star front four they've got have performed. Tyrese Shade's been too quiet. Jack Stevens hasn't really got into the game. Tavon Campbell up front's not done much. I know his shot led to the goal, but I mean, in terms of just being on the ball, kind of holding it up, getting involved in the play, it has been a little bit limited for him. Sabar has been okay, scoring the goal, that tapping, following the shot in. Solihull win it back. Charles giving it away. It's now the left back of Joe Newton, who will drive forward with the ball. Lays it off to Stevens, then back he goes to Whitmore. And it's now with Osborne, the captain, to the right centre-back of Morrison. So much room to run into, but decides to play a pass to Clark instead at right back. 1-2 with Sabara, with Clark again, who lifts it down the right-hand side. Campbell's going to chase it. The goalkeeper's coming for it. And the goalkeeper will let the ball roll out for a goal kick. And he'll waste time with it. Taking his time. So just over 25 minutes to play of the 90. Plus added on time. Does look like the Bromley supporters are very much enjoying themselves right now, as they are the team in the lead. Long ball forward towards Cheek. Flicks it on ahead of Morrison, but the flicking goes through to the goalkeeper, who will beat Louis Dennis to it for Bromley. And it's now Solihull to restart from the back. On the far side, it's now into the midfield with Maycock, still in the Solihull half at the moment. Wanting to pass it forward and breaks the lines. That's a brilliant pass. Finds Osborne, the captain. Stevens to his left. Osborne goes on his own instead. And he goes out to the right. And he eventually shoots. And what a goal! The captain steps up when they need him most. And Solihull are back level once again. What a goal that is from Jamie Osborne. You will not find better playoff goals than that. Scored against Halifax in the quarter-final of the playoffs. He won man of the match in both games in the playoffs. In that quarter-final against Halifax, and also won man of the match in the semi-final against Barnet. And again, he stepped up. Great pass, breaking the lines there by Maycock, finding his midfield partner of Osborne, who could have gone left or right with the pass, but went on his own instead, bringing the ball forward. Getting beyond one challenge and just drilling it low to the bottom left corner. Inch perfect with the goalkeeper at full stretch. Couldn't get there. It's a brilliant finish. It's exactly what Solihull Moors needed. And we are being served an absolute cracker of a playoff final. Andy Woodman shakes his head after his side just about regained the lead not long ago. They've lost it again. Solihull back in it. And it's Bromley 2, Solihull Moors 2. What a game we've got on our hands here. And what a goal that was from the captain. Stepping up when they needed him most. And Bromley want to get back in the lead again. Grant from right centre-half, putting the ball in the box. And it's cut out by Whitmore. And it has to be dealt with by Maycock, throwing for Bromley in the final third on this near side. What a game we've got on our hands here. Grant from right centre-back, again in a crossing position, but fakes it. And it's to Kirk now, who goes all the way back towards the centre, to halfway line, to the centre-back of Webster. Now Reynolds in the centre circle, going back to the right here to Byron Webster. Forward to Jude Arthurs. 1-2 there with Dennis. It's now back with Webster as we've got a quarter of the game to play here. Make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. Really helps the channel out. It's Callum Reynolds from centre-back, driving forward, then playing it across to Arthur, then back into his own half to Webster. Just not wanting to give the ball away cheaply here, Bromley, as they're building something here. Byron Webster. It's now again with Jude Arthurs, the 22-year-old central midfielder. Plays it through down the right-hand side, can't quite find the run of Kirk. Cut out, and it's now with Osborne, the captain again for Solihull. loves to drive forward with the ball, and he finds a pass this time to Campbell, takes on the turn, tripped on halfway. That's not how it's been seen by the referee. Andy Wing, the Solihull manager, is furious, but Bromley can attack. On the left wing, Whiteley, inside, ball to Dennis, goes back to Whiteley, down the line here for Odeteo, who fakes the first cross and then overhits the touch, and he's tackled there by Shade. And in a right-back position, Solihull can play out with Clark to the goalkeeper of Hayes, who gets there this time and clears it forward to the halfway line up towards Campbell. Touches it down for Shade, who wants to release it, goes inside and overruns it, gives it away to Charles, who then passes it all the way back to his goalkeeper. Good midfield work in the end there by Ashley Charles. It's Bromley to restart from the back. It's now with Kamal Grant. Completes a 1-2 there with Alex Kirk. Been at Arsenal since 2013, on loan from Arsenal this season. Spent last season on loan at Ayr United in Scotland. Alex Kirk, who's been brought off the bench just 8 minutes ago for Bromley, just after they scored. It's out wide now to Kirk. It goes back to Grant at right centre-back, lifting it into the run of Jude Arthurs, who brings it down beautifully outside the 18-yard box towards the corner flag. He's got his back to it, and then he back heels it through for Kirk in the box, who overruns it and then trips Jamie Osborne, and it's a free kick for Solihull Moors. What a bit of skill that was, though, by Jude Arthurs. Like I say, he was going towards the corner flag, but back heeled it into the box, into the run of Alex Kirk, who just misplaced his touch. And we're going to get a change here for Solihull with 20 to play. Jack Stevens down again, and it looks like his day might be up here. He looks absolutely furious with the fact he can't continue. And in fairness, it's just not been his day. He's not really been at it, and he's going to hobble off it. So Solihull Moors lose their top goal scorer for injury. But in fairness, it's not quite been his day in terms of a performance. So he will be replaced by number 18 of John Benton, who they brought in from Aveley in October of this season. Not scored for Solihull, did appear in the playoffs against Halifax in the quarter-final stage. So, Benton on. Who's described himself as very technical and that he likes to get on the ball and create chances, which is what you need in playoff finals. You need someone just to create that one big chance, and you hope your striker can take it. Back underway here. First touch of the ball here for Benton, who goes forward to Sabara, then back to Maycock, and then into Osborne. He's just inside his own half here. He'll bring it into the Bromley half, and he'll want to try and pass it here, but he overruns it, and he gives it away to Grant. Forward here for Dennis. Into Charles in the centre circle. Back to Dennis again. Grant's making a run from centre-back, and he finds him in a right wing position. Grant with it. He's got Kirk behind him. And he'll find Kirk, who goes all the way back to the halfway line to Webster. And Webster will then just send it forward. It's a big ball to the edge of the box towards Cheek. Nods it down here. Whiteley strikes it, and he follows it off Morrison. But Cheek was offside as the original ball forward there by Webster was played. So it wouldn't have counted anyway. Caught it nicely, though. Corey Whiteley. He has lost a National League playoff semi-final before against Tranmere, the 32-year-old. 54th appearance for him this season, Corey Whiteley. Very much trusted by Andy Woodman. That is probably the biggest goal that Jamie Osborne has scored for Solihull. That equaliser. Jamie Osborne scoring his 35th goal for the club, making his 248th appearance, nearly coming up to 250. He's actually Solihull born, Jamie Osborne. And he's labelled as a box-to-box midfielder, and that's exactly what he is. He just does everything. And he's Solihull's saviour at the moment with that equaliser, because the game could have started getting away from them. But they've stayed in it. And it's Bromley on the ball with their central centre-back of Byron Webster. Wants to go forward, but instead keeps it simple. 10-yard pass to his right here to Grant. Lifts it down the line. Jude Arthurs One-on-one here with Whitmore. Can he play a pass? He goes back here to Kirk. He goes back himself to Grant. And then back to the halfway line again to Webster. Don't mind restarting Bromley and Solihull. They really don't mind having to go all the way back if they have to. On the halfway line, Webster again goes forward with a ball. It's long in behind. Can Kirk keep it in? No, he can't. Overhit. Goal kick for Solihull Moors. And it's interesting with Solihull, with all the goals they're scoring in these playoffs. They scored 2. They scored 4 in the quarter-final and scored 4 in the semi-final. But their biggest win before that Barnet win, which was 4-0, was 3-0 against Dorking and Woking. So it's not exactly like Solihull Moors have had loads of big scoring wins. But, you know, when it's really mattered in these playoffs, they've been able to find the goals that they need. And just an interesting stat, just looking at my notes at the moment. Every substitute named today, bar one, and that is Mark Beck for Solihull. All of them are new signings this season for both teams. It just shows how much turnover there is in non-league in terms of squads. You very rarely keep the same squad the next season. There's Campbell, slide tackle there from Webster, and he's mistimed it. Free kick for Solihull. Quite far out though. 30, 35 yards out. It'll take some strike to score, so it'll probably be a cross. Just dived in there, Byron Webster, and didn't get the ball. Simple as that. Can't really have too many complaints, the captain. So with the captain, Jamie Osborne, to deliver this in. He's already scored a worldie. Could he put a worldie of a cross in now? It's a one-man Bromley wall. Osborne will clip it towards the far post. Header won by Odeteo. Drops to Benson on the edge of the box, and that goes flying over the crossbar. His first shot of the game since coming off the bench there. John Benson, 23-year-old, came through at Southend. Brought in from Aveley in October. This is risky there. There was a shirt pull from Odeteo who won the header there. He just pulled the shirt of James Clark, sorry. So goal kick taken there by Grant Smith. Headed on by Dennis, but then headed away by Clark, who then finds Campbell, who can hold it up here on halfway. That's brilliant from Tavon Campbell. It's now with Callum Maycock in the midfield for Solihull. Goes to his right here to Benton. Back into Maycock, who's just in front of the halfway line. Back out wide to Benton. Plays it down the line for the runner Sabara, who will chase it. He won't beat Reynolds to it. And Reynolds can see it out for a goal kick. Joe Sabara not happy with that pass there from John Benton. Just sloppily giving possession away. And we restart. Left centre-back on the ball for Bromley, and that is Callum Reynolds. Yeah, in terms of the turnover as well, throughout the whole season, Bromley have brought in 25 players and have let go of 17. And for Solihull, they've brought in 20 new players and let go of 18. So it really does show you the change and transformation that non-league teams go through each season to rebrand their squad and try and go again and find success. Odeteo just dispossessed there on the far side by Clark. Benton, tackled fairly by Charles. That's brilliant slide tackle out from Charles, who goes back here to Reynolds. Forced back towards the goalkeeper. Campbell's closing it down. Goalkeeper will clear it with his left foot. Keeps it in as well. Chested down by Charles, but taken off him by Maycock. So now with the right back Clark. Forward to Osborne. Back out to the right-hand side here to Maycock, who goes forward to Sabara. Then back to Maycock. Sabara again. Yeah, really well kept. That's really well done, that by Solihull Moors. That was a very compact area there, but they've worked their way out of it. Brilliant football from the team from South East Birmingham. Nothing separates these two sides as it stands. Pretty even game, I'd say, overall. I think Solihull's dominated the possession, but Bromley have looked dangerous every time they go forward. Campbell. Out wide he goes to Clark. It's just over hit. Can't keep it in. Throwing in the left back position for Bromley. It just gets to that point in the game now where if a pass is just a yard over hit, the player won't get onto it because, they're starting to tire now. 78 minutes in. And, that gets even worse when you get extra time and they start to tire even more. As at the moment, just showing some Solihull and Bromley fans, contrasting emotions for sure. Some are happy, some are absolutely bricking it, you might say. But it's in the right wing position here with Osborne as Solihull win it back. Lays it off to Clark. It goes to the edge of the box here to Benton. Keeps it with Clark. Wants to deliver it, but doesn't. Keeps it simple to Benton. Furthest wide here is Osborne. Everything to his left now. Drives inside. Lays it off for Benton. Osborne was tripped, but advantage is played it. Sabara has it. Needs to get the delivery right. It goes low. Cleared. All as far as Osborne. He strikes again, and it's blocked again. All as far as Maycock shifts it for Benton. Out wide left now to Newton. Works it to Shade. He drives in on his right foot from the left wing, and his shot is blocked by Ashley Charles. And it goes through to the back two of Solihull with Whitmore. And it goes to his partner in crime of Morrison. On halfway is Benton. Back out to the right-hand side here to Clark, who is allowed to bring it forward here. Sabara's peeled off him, but he can't find him. Pass deflects towards Maycock, who beats Teo to it. And it's now with Sabara, just one in the box for Solihull. Sabara goes on his own, puts it across. It's a big interception, that, from Webster. And out for a corner. Almost reached Campbell, who would have had a tap-in from a couple of yards out. But that shows his experience there, Byron Webster. Good running from Sabara, who's really grown into the game for Solihull. Since he scored, just seems like he's given him such a confidence booster. Andy Wing trying to get the Solihull fans up for this even more. There's 10 minutes left. And if you feel like if a side can score now, the other team might not be able to respond in time. Outswinger from Osborne. In it goes. It's a good ball, but no one's attacking it. Free header for Webster, for Bromley. Drops to Sabara, who's going to come out to this near side. Plays it here to Shade. One-on-one with Grant. Shade goes back into Sabara. Into Shade again. One-on-one with Grant. Can he beat him? He does. Into the box. On his right foot. To Campbell. Keeps it away from the four Bromley players around him. Clark across to Benson. Just needs to shift it on once more, but he goes for the shot instead. That's greedy. Should have just moved it out once more out to the right-hand side. But went for the shot and he dragged it well wide of that left-hand post. Just needed to go one more. But went for the shot. And bit of a disappointment in the end. To be a goal kick for Bromley. Taken by the goalkeeper Grant Smith with his left boot. Bromley are going to ready another change here. Because at the moment, from the way I'm looking at it, Solihull look the better side. There's a header away by Reynolds. Controlled on halfway by Sabara. Maycock turns out, but turns into a player instead. Ashley Charles for Bromley. Holds it up. Plays it here. Dennis. He's got Whiteley making a run ahead of him. He finds him and he hits the side netting. Oh, that could have been it. Under the cosh again, Bromley, but as soon as they get a ball in a dangerous position, they look like scoring. That time, Corey Whiteley going towards the near post and hitting that side netting, given away cheaply there by Maycock, who just ran into Ashley Charles, who's been a machine in the midfield for Bromley this evening. Found Dennis, who slipped it through for Whiteley. The angle was tight, even if it was on target. I think the goalkeeper probably would have had that covered. But Bromley are going to make their change. Louis Dennis comes off for their number 29 of Olufella Olamola, who they brought in from Wealdstone in October of this season. He's got 10 goals in the National League. Came on as a late sub in the semi-final against Altrincham. He's on as a late sub again, but the game might go on a bit longer than that one because this could be going to extra time as it stands. It is also Solihull's third National League playoff run. They reached the final 2 seasons ago, but were crashed out of the semi-final stage in 2019 by AFC Fylde, who were then beaten by Salford. But times have changed here, and Solihull could really make that step to the Football League. Goalkeeper goes long towards Campbell, who touches it into Sabara. Now out to the right to Benson, who can't feed the pass through, but he does deflect to Maycock, so Solihull still have it. Working it to this near side now to the left back, Newton. Space to bring it forward, and then lays it out to the left winger of Shade. Then to Osborne, who from afar, thinking about the shot, goes into the box instead to Campbell, who dummies it to Sabara, who will get to the ball, to the byline. Goes back here into Osborne. Can he cross? No, he can't. Just holds it up for the moment. And then goes back here into Benton. Forward to Sabara. And then back to Benton. We're going towards the halfway line here. Clark gets into the middle of the park here to Newton, who will then go forward again for Solihull. Out wide to Shade, who's looked a lot better on this left wing. Completes the 1-2 with Newton towards the byline. He wants to try and spin and cross. He does just that, but he's chested down by Webster, who had time to do that in the box, and cleared by Charles in the end. But all the way through to the Solihull goalkeeper of Nick Hayes, who just sends it forward first time up to the right-hand side towards Sabara. Towards Benson, sorry. Odeteo misses, and Benson can't quite chase after it, and out for a throw-in for Bromley it goes. 6 minutes left to play. Are we going to get a dramatic ending here at Wembley? It's already been a dramatic game, but it looks like we're going to be treated to more drama in this one. Long throw-in by Reynolds up to the halfway line. Right, can't be helped on for Bromley. Sabara picks it up, facing his own goal, and going all the way to the goalkeeper to keep it with Hayes. Don't mind that, because there wasn't a lot of options for Sabara there. He could only go backwards. And the goalkeeper feeds it to the left back, Newton. I've been impressed with Newton today at left back. You know, he was playing 6th tier football last season with Havant and Waterlooville. Whitmore to Shade. He's just taken up a left back position. I'm presuming Newton's just gone a bit ahead of him, and he has. Shade on halfway. Just needs to keep it, really. Goes to Newton, the left back. Feeds it back through for Shade with a lifted pass, but the Shade touch isn't great. Taken off him by Grant, who just chips it down the line, straight to the chest of Osborne, who goes inside to Maycock. And Solihull are really looking like they can go on and win this game. Bromley just can't keep it at the moment. Under a lot of pressure. Osborne, midway inside the Bromley half, finds Sabara in a pocket of space in the middle of the park. To the right, he goes to Benton. Out wide once more now to Clark. Does he fancy a cross? He will put it in. It's a really bad cross. At the near post, straight at the goalkeeper. And I think that's probably a reason why Solihull haven't been crossing it as much as they should have been. They've been in a lot of crossing areas, but I've always just decided to keep it a bit more simple. Goalkeeper kicks it long up towards Cheek. Leaves it up towards Olamola, who heads it out wide right, but only as far as Newton for Solihull. Cheek will close him down, though. To the brace scorer for Bromley. And Solihull go long, and what a touch that is by Campbell. On the halfway line, on this near side. He lays it back to Newton. He's definitely got a lot better this second half with his hold-up play, Campbell. And they've needed him to, and he's really started to look more of a threat for Solihull. It's a bit more of a handful. Shade from the left wing, just running across the pitch and finds Sabara into Maycock. It's down the halfway line with the centre half of Morrison. Benton forward to Clark, and then back to the halfway line we go to Morrison. Into the midfield to Maycock. He's allowed us to bring it forward into the midfield. Maycock still going. Finds Campbell, lays it out to the left there to Shade. He's got Newton in support at the left back, but he can also go on his own if he wants. Goes across to his right to Benton. Back out to the left here to Osborne. Bromley have pretty much everyone back here as Newton on the byline. Works across in. It's a dangerous one. Kicked away by the goalkeeper. Drops to Maycock. Puts it in the box away from Shade and cleared by Reynolds. But only as far as Osborne, so Solihull can come again. Benton in the right wing position. It's a nice angle for a cross if he wants it. Goes across the box even more and lays it backwards to Osborne. Sabara. 1-on-1 with Odeteo. Low ball towards Campbell. Can't quite beat Reynolds to it. And it's now with Arthurs. Goes to the left side here to Odeteo. who is brought down there by Bromley's captain of Osborne. And the referee there will take a booking. Yellow card there for Jamie Osborne, who just didn't want to allow Odeteo to start adventuring into the Solihull half there. Bit of a scissor-like tackle, that is. It's not a nice one, that, from Osborne. Yeah, that's really not nice. He's gone in high for some reason. That's bizarre, the way he's gone in like that. I think it is just about a yellow, but any higher. And he's asking for a red there. Jamie Osborne, that is... I'm confused why he's gone in like that. That's very risky for absolutely no reason. You know, I know Odeteo was taking the ball forward for Bromley and he was probably going to find his way into the Solihull half, but he wasn't in that much of a dangerous position to almost risk himself a red card to go in the way he did. Launched into the box from the free kick, header won by Whitmore. That's a brilliant header. Commanding. But he's still with Bromley on the far side here with Odeteo, who heads it into Charles. Just about loses out to Benson. And he brings him down from behind. That's a Solihull free kick. Well won there by John Benson, the substitute. So Solihull free kick taken quickly here to Osborne. Still in the Solihull half at the moment. Clark, the right back, lifting up towards Tavon Campbell. He chests it away from Webster. He's been pulled back by Webster, but he shrugs him off and lays it off into Osborne. Brings it forward beyond the halfway line. He sees a gap for Sabara and he finds him. There is shade in the box. If Sabara can find him, the first cross deflects off Odeteo, who slides in. And the keeper comes to collect. Good defending that from Odeteo. It does look like Joe Sabara is starting to struggle with cramp for Solihull as we close in towards extra time here. Left centre-half Callum Reynolds to bring it forward. Not scored since late March, away at Dorking, but he finds a great pass to Cheek. And then through for Olamola, who's all alone. On his left foot he shoots. It's a big block from Clark. And it loops over the bar and out for a corner. As we hit the 90th minute, Bromley almost nicked it there. Really good pass from Reynolds. Somehow there was a big space in the middle of the pitch there from Solihull to allow Cheek to get it. Play it to the left to Olamola. Just took a bit too long to shoot. Allowed Clark to get in front of him, who threw himself at the shot to block. But they do have a corner as a result. We've hit the 90th minute. Not sure how long has been indicated for added on time, but the outfield players it absolutely surround the 6-yard box and the goalkeeper. Referee just having a word there with Idris Odeteo. Came through at Fulham before leaving on a permanent deal to join Bromley. In swinger, in it goes. Big header going towards goal. And he just missed it. Kamal Grant got up higher than I've ever seen anyone jump, but he just missed the header. Still alive on the right wing, though, for Bromley. Given away, though, by Charles to Campbell. Through for Shade. Is the counter-attack on here? It's just 2 Solihull players up there, and there's 5 Bromley players back. Shade keeps running down the left-hand side. Tries to go inside, but it's good defending. Really good defending, and Bromley can clear down the line. And Kirk keeps it to Charles. And the defending there from Corey Whiteley, the attacker. Defending like a centre-back. 7 minutes have been added on. Eventually we find out how long. 7. And we've almost played 2 of those 7. Reynolds, high ball, down the left-hand side. Flag has stayed down here. Odeteo trying to get into the box, but he's been tackled by Benton, who avoids the corner. And kicks it all the way back into the Bromley half here with Callum Reynolds. 5 minutes of added time to play before extra time in this National League playoff final. Thanks to everyone who's here. If you could like and subscribe, that'd be fantastic. Reynolds again lifting it down the line, but no idea who he's seen there. No one was there or anywhere near it. And out it rolls for a goal kick for Solihull Moors. Like I say, Kamal Grant got up for that header. It went through to the far post towards Reynolds, who could only touch it towards goal, and it was eventually dealt with by Benton. But I don't think Reynolds expected the ball to drop to him when he saw Kamal Grant leap like he did to try and win the first header. It ended 2-2 in the last playoff final between Chesterfield and Notts County, but it was 1-1 after 90, ended 2-2 after extra time. Odeteo thumping header forward, but put back towards Odeteo by Morrison, flicked on by Maycock to Sabara, just can't slip the ball through towards Shade, cleared by Bromley, put back forward by Morrison as he beat Cheek to the ball. Now with John Benton, Maycock's made a run forward, but he goes to Sabara instead, all on this far side for Solihull Moors, who want to try and nick a winner late on. Decided to switch the play out towards the left-hand side into Newton. Shade. On the edge of the box, on his right, chopping onto his left. Being followed all the way by Arthurs. Shade still has it though towards the byline. Back on his right foot, low ball to the edge of the area, where Clark will curl it towards the top right corner. And that isn't far away. Hands on his head as he thought he'd won it. Not a bad attempt there by James Clark, who scored in the semi-final against Altrincham. Against Barnet, sorry. Good work from Shade, who's looked a different player on that left wing. Clark allowed to shoot, and he was bending it towards the top right corner, but just too high and a bit too wide. But it's a cultured attempt. You can really see him try and bend that into that far corner. But not to be. Less than 3 minutes to go. As Cheek flicks on, Olamola holds up. Only momentarily, it's headed away from him by Morrison, but Solihull can't keep it. Jude Arthurs now has it, 30 yards out, he wants to shoot, he's gonna shoot! It's well held, really well held there by Nick Hayes. If he had spilt that, there was 2 Bromley players there to try and finish. Not a bad attempt from Jude Arthurs, he really got the power behind it, but it was straight at the goalkeeper. Nick Hayes holding on really well there. And if any team are to score now, it has got to be the winner. And it would be absolute heartbreak for the team who are on the other end of the goal. Osborne. Tackled there by Olamola. Throwing on the near side here for Solihull. Just inside the Bromley half here. Newton takes it. Gets it to Osborne. It's now with Shade. Goes back into his left centre half here of Alex Whitmore. Newcastle-born centre-back. It's now with Shade in his own half here. Solihull just slowing down the game. Definitely not wanting to give the ball away at this point with so little time to play. Minute and 20 to go. Whitmore. He's going to have to go long. Up to the halfway line. He finds Campbell. His touch isn't great. And he's tackled there by Grant, who sends it to his goalkeeper here, of Smith. Now to the left centre half of Reynolds, who will bring it forward here for Bromley. Is there maybe one more chance left for the team from South East London? They go inside to Olamola, about 30 yards from goal. He's got Osborne close to him, but he's got time on the ball now. Plays it to his right to Arthurs. He's already had one shot recently. He instead tries to slip it through towards Grant, who can't quite get there as he deflected off Shade. Goalkeeper was very, very brave there. Took a bit of a knock there from Kamal Grant, who was running in. But the goalkeeper will be okay. And that might be that for this playoff final in terms of the 90-minute game. It looks like we're going to be getting an extra half an hour here. It's gone to extra time in the last 3 playoff finals now. The last one that Solihull Moors went to extra time against Grimsby in 2022. Where they went on to lose in extra time to a Maguire-Drew goal as the kill kick goes long, almost finding Campbell, but bouncing its way through to the opposite goalkeeper of Grant Smith, who quickly rolls it out to Webster. We have played the 7 minutes added on, and the referee will blow for full time here. Nothing can separate these two at the moment. We'll be heading for another half an hour of football with the possibility of penalties come the end of it. But Bromley took a lead right before the first half ended. Michael Cheek with a finish into the bottom left corner. There was a question if he tripped centre-back for Solihull Whitmore in the build-up. The referee didn't see it. Cheek got away with it. and put his shot into the bottom left corner and gave Bromley a lead. But right after the break, in the 48th minute, Joe Sabara following up a shot from Tavon Campbell, and he put it under the goalkeeper, who tried to get back up in time to save a second shot in quick succession. He couldn't do so, and Sabara wheeled away in celebration with a knee slide to give Solihull an equaliser. But just 10 minutes later, Bromley were back ahead from the penalty spot. Michael Cheek scored a penalty against Solihull the last time they met, just less than 3 weeks ago, and this time he's dispatched it again. A short back pass from Morrison to the goalkeeper sold him short. Cheek got there ahead of the goalkeeper, who came in, clattered into him, took him out, conceded the penalty, and Cheek blasted it down the middle of the goal. But not too long after, with just 25 to play, Jamie Osborne, the Solihull captain, took it upon himself to get Solihull back in the game once more, driving forward from midfield and from around 22 yards out, drilling a low right-footed shot to the bottom left corner. In it went. It was a brilliant finish. Even an outstretched Grant Smith couldn't save it. And after 2 halves of football here at Wembley, these two sides can't be separated. And as we go into extra time, it is finished here. Bromley 2, Solihull Moors 2. So we shall continue in the National League playoff final. We've got another half an hour to go, so make sure you stick around. But what a fantastic game we've just had there. Solihull having to fight back twice, which shows the mindset and the mentality they've got under Andy Wing, their manager. So we're going to get ready for extra time here. And like I say, possibly penalties, but we'll have to wait and see. Got penalties last year where Notts County won. But it's been brilliant to watch both sides go for this. You know, to see Bromley get themselves ahead, but for Solihull to fight their way back here and get level twice. That's difficult to do. To go behind twice and get yourselves back in it and get level. It's really impressive. And it can't be underestimated how difficult it is to, in a playoff final at Wembley, to come back from being behind twice. But very soon we'll be getting the first 15 of an extra half an hour that's going to be played here at Wembley, between two sides who are looking to reach the Football League for the first time in their club's history. For the equaliser, that was scored by Jamie Osborne to make it 2-2. Solihull-born midfielder just taking it upon himself just to drive it forward and finish the way he did. Picked it up just inside the centre circle and just ran with it all the way towards the edge of the box, where Bromley just couldn't get in the way of the shot that he took. And like I say, you know, if it's not as close to the corner, it doesn't go in. He had to get that absolutely inch perfect, and he did. That's why he's got the game at 2-2, and that's how it stayed until the end. And now we're getting more of the football here. Extra time it is. So it's going to be Bromley to kick off, kicking right to left, Solihull left to right. So both sets of players attacking towards the opposition fans for this first half, as the referee will blow the whistle and we're back underway again, with Bromley starting the play. And they go into their goalkeeper, Grant Smith, who's brought in from Yeovil this season, relegated with Yeovil last season, but he's got himself into the National League Team of the Year, the goalkeeper who sends it long. It's been flicked out wide here to Kirk. Low ball deflects to Michael Cheek on the edge, who lays it off to his right here. Arthurs crosses to the far post towards Odeteo, who can't quite meet it. And out it goes for a goal kick. Not a bad start to the extra time period there for Bromley. Odeteo, the one getting forward from wing-back. Brought in permanently in February from Fulham. Impressed Marco Silva at Fulham. Idris Odeteo went with them on pre-season last season. So goal kick for Solihull Moors. Big kick forward beyond the halfway line. Headed won by Odeteo. He clears it down the line. But volleyed forward and away by Clark. Out of play for a throw-in for Bromley. No, it deflected, so it's a Solihull throw-in instead on halfway. Clark's clearance deflected. Osborne trying to drive forward, but this time tackled and played forward by Arthurs. Cheek goes back here into Grant. Then a high ball out wide. He's going to give chase to this Kirk. He's going to go for it. He's going to get there ahead of Newton in the final third and gets away from him. What a run by Kirk in the box on his left foot. He'll go for the shot and it's wide. It's not a great attempt. He is an out-and-out defender, not known for his scoring, Alex Kirk. He's scored once this season in a 5-1 home win against Ebbsfleet at the end of December. But it's not a bad attempt from the number 15. Did really well to get beyond Joe Newton, who just seemed a little bit tired. And he's tried to curl it to that far corner. It's not the worst attempt in the world. But another donation, oh my word. Jimbo, your support on this channel has been absolutely insane. Another $10. That is crazy. Thank you so much. You know, if anyone does want to donate, I will not say no, but that is absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much. Don't need to apologise ever for falling asleep, because I know that you're, that, like I say, it's midnight for you over there, but you've tuned in at a great time, because it's extra time, it's 2-2, and we still don't know who's going to win this game, which makes it very, very exciting here. It is Solihull Moors on the ball. But the donation, honestly, mate, it's absolutely incredible. I could not be more thankful for them. Really helps the channel grow, and thanks to everyone who is here. Got over 50 people in here, which is great to see as well. There's Whitmore. Ball out to the left, it's risky and it's short. It's picked up by Grant on halfway. Enters the Solihull half, and he goes forward here to Kirk, but he continues his run, and he gets the ball back here. Grant, can he cross it once more? Chops onto his left, tries the cross, but that deflects surely. Yep, and a corner on the near side here for Bromley. Good run in there by Kamal Grant, who's played from the start, and he's honestly not stopped with those runs forward from centre-back. Almost like an over and underlap in centre-half. As at the moment, Solihull's captain, Jamie Osborne, just struggling at the moment, and he cannot continue. That's a big blow. James Clark takes the armband, and Jamie Osborne is going to be replaced here, but he's not going to be replaced by any sort of random, less ability player, because he's going to be replaced here by Joss Labidi, who was brought in from Walsall on a free. He's 33 years of age. He's experienced 2 League 2 playoffs with Newport, losing 2 finals, which isn't a great experience to have, but he's played in these sort of scenarios. And the captain, Jamie Osborne, who got the goal to make it 2-2, just couldn't continue. He's absolutely worked his socks off in that midfield, and he's been replaced by Joss Labidi. But they've got a corner to deal with. In-swinger for Bromley, headed on towards the far post and off the bar, and cleared by Clark. Biggest chance of extra time so far falls Bromley's way. Off the woodwork. Arthurs wants to re-deliver it. Oh, he takes on Maycock and then delivers it with the left foot. Headed towards goal, actually headed away instead. But he'll be back out wide for Bromley. Reynolds, right-footed, curls it in towards goal. Header won by Whitmore. Maycock chests it down for Clark, who slices a clearance out of play. And that was almost Bromley back ahead for the third time in the game. In it went, header from Cheek to Kirk, who hit the bar from a couple of yards out. And it was hurried away. Good flick on by Cheek, came off his shoulder in the end. And then Kirk won the header at the far post on Campbell. And all the goalkeeper could do for Solihull was watch and pray that didn't hit the back of the net. And Bromley, now their turn to attack. They did a lot of defending in the back end of the second half of normal time here, as Bromley have lost it here. But then they win it back quickly in the centre circle, taking it off Sabara. And then Webster forward here to Whiteley. Out to the left centre half of Reynolds, who enters the Solihull half. And he's allowed to bring it forward here. He's got Olamola making a run out wide, but decides to go back instead here to Odeteo, who then goes down the line to Olamola, who's eventually fouled. He's going to run at the right back here of Clark. Olamola towards the byline. Low ball goes in, and it's dealt with at the near post there by Morrison. And it's another corner for Bromley. They just hit the bar from one they just had, so Solihull know the threat that they've got to deal with here. You do a great job of coming. Oh, I appreciate it, but the donations are absolutely fantastic, and they could not be more appreciated. So if anyone does want to donate or use super chat or anything, then please do. It really helps the channel go. And if you want to become a member, which is £5 a month, you get a free. You don't get a free because you're paying for it being a member, but you get a weekly members podcast, members only podcast, and we've done 2 so far. So if you want extra content, then make sure you become a member. There must be a significant financial improvement get promoted. Yeah, there will be, in terms, especially with the new TV deal that's happened with Sky and the EFL. A lot more League One and League Two games are being shown next season, alongside I think every League Cup game as well. So definitely financially it'll be big. As an in-swinger goes in again, headed at the near post for Solihull. Away it goes, but there's a foul in there given by the referee. Free kick. Keeper's gone down. Nick Hayes in a bit of pain here. And they need him to be better quickly because Solihull Moors don't have a substitute goalkeeper. So I thought the ball went in and Grant just running into the goalkeeper. Well seen by the referee. Rightly given foul. Both teams would have stuff. Going to be tough next weekend. Yeah, it's going to be tough next weekend. Another trip to Wembley. Gateshead, I mean, that is heartbreaking how that's happened. Gateshead finished in the playoffs, finished in 6th place, but due to problems with their stadium and the future of the stadium doesn't quite align with the EFL, with I think the a 10-year plan, something to do with that, meant that their playoff spot was taken off them, which is, absolutely heartbreaking for Gateshead. But they do have a chance to win silverware and a chance to go to Wembley in that FA Trophy final next weekend against Solihull Moors, who will be back again here in 6 days' time. So the free kick taken by the goalkeeper. And as he took it, Campbell was offside. Lazy striker play there. He's got to be keeping himself onside there, surely, Tavon Campbell. It's a free kick for Bromley, who have definitely been the better side in this first period of extra time. As it's Kyle Morrison for Solihull, who's just down at the moment. He's going to require some treatment here, and it looks like they're going to have to make a change because of it. This is where the 5 substitutes only is a bit of a struggle for these non-league sides, as it does look like Kyle Morrison, who won promotion with Kidderminster in the National League North last season via the playoffs, will have to come off it. And they're going to have to bring on the only centre-back they've got on the bench of Max Taylor, who's here on loan from Rochdale, formerly of Manchester United. Max Taylor diagnosed with testicular cancer in October 2018 and overcame it with an operation in March 2019. And he is set to be released from Rochdale at the end of the season. So Solihull, if they go up, they might think to sign him up permanently, to have him as a squad member in the League Two campaign, or even if they stay in this division. The numbers are really rising here. Thanks to everyone who is here. Make sure you like, subscribe. We've got 72 people at the moment. Fantastic numbers. If you want to donate, you can do. If you want to become a member, which I would definitely recommend. I do think it's worth it becoming a member. I think it's something that, just get something a bit extra in it, and it does help support the channel as well. So just while we get this substitute made and we get Kyle Morrison treated, we just got a stoppage in play as we're about to hit the 100th minute of this National League playoff final. So he will have to be changed here. Kyle Morrison, who played the short back pass to the goalkeeper, which gave Bromley their penalty kick in the second half of normal time. He's going to have to be replaced by number 21, Max Taylor, who's only making his 4th appearance for Solihull since joining on loan from Rochdale. He's yet to play in the playoffs, so he's been thrown into the deep end, you could say, Max Taylor, but he needs to get into this game as quickly as possible. As it's Clark from right back heading it into the other substitute of Labidi. Then cleared by Taylor, who's just come on. Can't be kept by Campbell, but then won back by Labidi. But only as far as Arthurs, who lifts it towards Taylor, who will head it away for Solihull, but straight to a Bromley player of Reynolds, who trips over Labidi. And it's a free kick for Solihull Moors. It's a great substitute to be able to bring on for Solihull. Joss Labidi, the 33-year-old. So much experience. Struggled last season with a knee injury, which had his minutes limited. And he eventually made the switch from Walsall to Solihull. But it is Solihull who's enjoying a bit of possession in this extra time, something they've not really had. It's definitely been Bromley the better side, after it was Solihull dominating the end of the normal period of time. They've given it away here, and Michael Cheek attacking on the right-hand side. He's going to go for the audacious chance to go for the goal, and that's a waste. He's on for a hat-trick, Michael Cheek, but he's tried to catch the goalkeeper out, going for a long shot, but even if that was going in, I think the keeper would have been there in time to save it anyway. Just one on halfway there, nicked by Kirk, taking it away from Newton, the left-back, and then for about 50 yards. Cheek's gone for the long-range strike to catch out the goalkeeper, but I don't think it was ever on as Clark gives it away now. Big chance. Olamola in the box, left-hand side, crosses towards Cheek, goes all the way through to the far post, but no one's there for Bromley. Newton's there for Solihull Moors, and it'll be Solihull to come forward with it. Sabara, who's just not quite been involved in this extra time period so far for Solihull, has the ball and lifts it out to the right side here to Clark, who took over the captaincy as Jamie Osborne was substituted just at the start of extra time. Midway inside the Solihull half, it's Whitmore. Goes to the left here to Labidi. Newton. Just keeping the ball here, Solihull. Trying to find a rhythm in the game again. In their own half, though, so not really much of an issue for Bromley as of yet. Left back, Newton has it. Plays it to Shade. Then gives it back to Newton on the halfway line. Newton to Shade. Driving across into the centre circle. And going back with the pass to the newly brought on centre-back of Max Taylor. Clark goes across the halfway line to Maycock. Forward for Benton. And out to the left it goes to Campbell. Time on the ball here. Arthurs can't get across quick enough. Campbell slips it through for the run of Newton, whose cross comes off Kirk and he keeps it in. And he kicks it away to the edge of the box where it's helped away by Ashley Charles, and the counter's on it. Whiteley for Bromley. He's got two up there with him. Olamola making a run to the left. Cheek free on the right, but he's overhit the pass. And Cheek will keep it in though. Right on that far side. Oh, it's just slipped out. Just. And it's a throw-in for Solihull Moors. Bit of a confusing pass to make there, really, Corey Whiteley, because Michael Cheek's not the quickest when he's just started a game, never mind 105 minutes into one, so he's never really going to find the ball. Throw-in taken for Solihull, down the left-hand side, goes beyond Campbell and Grant, through to Sabara, finds Shade. He wants to go down the line. Can't find Campbell, but he's been fouled as he released it there by Whiteley. And that'll be a free kick for Solihull, just inside their own half here. Definitely improved in this game. Tyrese Shade, the loanee from Swindon. St Kitts and Nevis international. Not scored for that country, though, in 5 appearances. Made his debut in March of last year. And here he is on the ball from the free kick. Going down the line for Newton in the final 30. Goes inside on Kirk. Goes to the edge of the box here to Benson. 1-2 with Campbell. Can't quite come off. And it's Charles to go to Kirk, who then clears it away for Bromley. As we've hit the 105th minute. And we're going to get 2 minutes added on here. As Max Taylor heads out. A long ball forward from Bromley. But 2 minutes added on here at the first half of extra time. No more goals so far. As Whitmore takes it off Olamola and goes long towards Sabara. Headed on though by Charles. Headed away by Labadit. And it'll be Campbell to chase it up front for Solihull. But it's dealt with by Webster. And it's hooked forward by Newton. But the clearance from Webster had already gone out of play. So it's going to be a throw-in for Solihull. Some very stressed looks on the faces of these Bromley and Solihull Moors fans as their whole season rides on the remaining minutes in this game. Got a minute left of added on time in the first half of extra time. It's in the Solihull half with their left centre-back of Alex Whitmore. Brings it forward now as he plays the ball to Newton. Sabara on the left wing. Charles closest to him. Sabara goes alone. No one in the box for him to aim for. Still has it though. He's got Newton in support and he finds him. Back to Sabara. Campbell's forward. Clark's making a late run at the far post. He goes to Benson instead. He takes it down the left-hand side. The touch is heavy. And it's too heavy. And it's a goal kick. Did get there with a cross, but like I say, just already rolled out of play. And it looks like that'll probably be that for this first half of extra time. Once we get the goal kick taken here. Thanks to everyone who's there. 86 people. This is fantastic. Make sure you like it and subscribe. And if you haven't already, really helps the channel grow. And if you want to become a member, that would really help out as well. £5 a month. And you get extra content with a podcast. And that will be the end of the first half there. After that goal kick was taken. And these two sides still cannot be separated here. We could have another penalty shootout here at Wembley in the National League playoff final like we got last season. And when it gets to this stage, when players get tired and fatigue starts to kick in, it's about individual moments. Who can just create something special that can take the game and win them the game. It's just all about moments now. It's such fine margins here. And in that first half, Bromley hit the bar in the 6-yard box. Corner went in, shouldered on by Cheek, and headed on towards goal by Kirk. And he crashed the crossbar from about 3 or 4 yards out. Goalkeeper was well and truly beaten. And that was the biggest chance of the extra time period. It needs to be some motivational talks here from both managers of Andy Woodman and Andy Wing. Because these players have just given absolutely everything in this game. It's just, when it gets to this kind of point in a game like this, you just don't want anyone to lose. It's just going to be so heartbreaking for both, who have had, in their own ways, just brilliant seasons. Will it be decided in these next 15 minutes, or will it be penalty kicks that have to be the decider? We're going to find out. We're going to wait and see. Don't go anywhere, because this is only going to get more exciting. It's only going to get more tense as the seconds tick away in this game. It'll be Solihull to kick right to left, Bromley left to right. So they're both attacking their own supporters here, which might give both teams a little bit of a boost to get that winner in front of their own fans here. I'm sure a lot of supporters are probably telling themselves that they probably feel a bit sick. That's how it gets. That's what the feeling is. Solihull kickers off. They go long and out to the left-hand side towards Shade, straight out of play. Throwing for Bromley in their defensive third. long throwing down the line for Bromley by Grant. Headed on by Labadie. Up towards Campbell. It goes beyond him and Webster. And Sabara picks it up and charges down the left-hand side towards the byline. Slide tackle goes in. And he's been caught, and it'll just be a free kick. That was close. Callum Reynolds, the one sliding in on Joe Sabara. And he beat him. He got in front of him, Sabara. Reynolds just had to slide in. Got nowhere near the ball. And Sabara just couldn't quite keep his foot and went over. Because I'm sure Sabara would have preferred that ball to have stayed in. But it's a free kick. It's a very tight angle, so there's no way it'll be a shot on goal. It's going to have to be a well-placed cross. What's the game on? The game is on TNT Sports in the UK. As we're nearly at 100 viewers here. Benton crosses in, and it's headed on by Webster. That's a massive header. The ball will roll towards the corner flag. That's gone out. No, it's a throw-in. I'm sure that was a corner. It's gone for a throw-in instead. Big header that from Webster, because the goalkeeper came and he didn't get there. And if it'd gone beyond Webster, I think there was a Solihull player at the back post who was ready to head home. It's going to be a long throw-in in here by Tyree Shade. If there's ever a time for a long throw-in to work, this is now the moment. In it goes. Header won, though, by Odeteo at the near post. Flicked away, though, by Whiteley for Bromley. To the halfway line now with Taylor for Solihull. Goes to the goalkeeper here of Hayes. Olamola closing him down. Hayes will clear it. Right back into the Bromley half, where Webster heads away. But only as far as Clark for Solihull. And it is Solihull Moors who are back in possession of the ball here. Keeping it simple with their left centre-half of Alex Whitmore. Max Taylor, the centre-half substitute. The number 21. First ever experience of the playoffs for the 24-year-old. As Whitmore goes out to the left side. What a ball that is. Great chested control by Shade. Newton getting forward from left back as Campbell has it. Slips it through for Sabara instead in the box. Can't turn away from Reynolds. But it does drop here to Newton. Shade, edge of the box, driving along onto his right foot, playing the pass to Benton, and I think Shade struggling with cramp here. As Clark finds Campbell in the box, he's got his back to goal, tries to turn, and he does turn, finds an inch of space to shoot, blocked by Webster, drops through towards Taylor, who's been bundled to the ground by Cheek, and around 50 or so yards out, just to the right side of the pitch. It's a free kick for Solihull, so a chance to just launch this into the box if they can. Thanks to everyone who is liking. 36 likes is absolutely incredible. And I hope everyone is subscribing as well. And if you want to become a member, £5 a month, get some extra content for becoming a member. If you'd like to do so. Benton delivers it into the box towards Taylor. Cleared away though by Olamola. And then on away once more by Webster. Headed away though on the halfway by Newton. Needed to get that header away because he didn't want to concede any silly counter-attacks. And it remains 2-2. Bromley have led twice. Solihull Moors have come back twice. Labadie heads away for Solihull. Headed back forward by Ashley Charles and then just booted into the air by Whiteley. Olamola will chase it on the right wing for Bromley, but he can't beat Whitmore to it. His clearance isn't great. Picked up by Jude Arthurs, who's tackled really strongly but fairly by Labadie. And in the final third, it's a throw-in for Bromley. It's going to be taken quickly by Kirk. Throws it back to Grant. Goes towards the halfway line here to Ashley Charles. Across to the left centre-back here of Reynolds. It's now with the captain, Webster. Oh, he's been forced to go back to the goalkeeper here of Grant Smith. Fires it out to the right-hand side. Newton heads it backwards into the 18-yard box. Whitmore needs to deal with it. He's got Olamola on his case. Newton goes down over a trip from Kirk. Nothing given. Eventually the ball's delivered into the box. It's a volley away by Max Taylor. It's going to be a throw-in the final third again on this near side for Bromley. And they do have a long throw with Kamal Grant, and that's exactly what they're going to use. Solihull will make another change, though, before it's taken. The goal scorer for Solihull's first equaliser, Joe Sabara, will be coming off it for number 38, Nana Boateng, who's been on loan for the last couple of months from Millwall. Came on as a late sub against Halifax in the quarter-finals of the playoffs. Boateng, labelled as an under-21 star at Millwall. Boateng, and they need him now. He's number 33. Not 38, he's number 33. So the long throwing is eventually going to be taken here by Grant. Solihull Moors lost their last playoff final through a long throw. He's actually gone short, and Webster's the one to deliver it into the far post. Another big header won by Taylor, and he volleys away. Benson's going to chase it. Put back forward by Whiteley. Towards the edge of the box. Header won by Whitmore. Nearly drops to Benson. Picked up by Charles instead. I could have turned forward there, Kirk. But they'll work it out to the right here. To Arthurs. He's got time to cross it. Goes down the line instead to Grant, who will deliver it himself. It's a low one. It's just about dealt with by Labadie. And Shade can just avoid the corner. Clearing it into a central area. Put into the box by Charles. But then dealt with by Solihull. And it's Campbell to take it away down the left. Sliding challenge. That is not timed well by Reynolds. A yellow card. I thought that was well timed by Reynolds, but he's picked up a booking. Massive slide tackle across. Let's have a look. Campbell was about to set himself away. And it looks like he's got the ball. I'm not sure about that one. I thought he'd got the ball first. He definitely took the man out on the follow-through, but he was going to with the tackle he was making. But the referee seen it as a foul and a yellow card. So, what do I know? Free kick for Solihull Moors on the halfway line, on this near side with their left back Newton. Goes to the left centre half of Whitmore, then goes back to the goalkeeper on the edge of the box of Hayes. Sends it forward. It's a long ball down the right-hand side, looking for the substitute of Boateng, who's trying to battle with Odeteo, and he can't win that battle. Throwing for Bromley in the end. As we're about to push into 100 concurrent viewers, which is a great landmark to hit for this playoff final stream. Reynolds slams the ball forward. It's a massive punt, trying to get it in behind the Solihull defence. It's been well dealt with, though, by Whitmore. And Taylor clears it long. Headed away by Reynolds. And then headed inside for for Bromley by Whiteley. And then volleyed out wide right by Cheek to Kirk, who beats Newton to it. Can he shoot? Kirk will strike it off the post and wide. Oh, I thought that was going in. Alex Kirk hit the crossbar in the first half of extra time. He's now hit the left-hand side post in the second half of extra time. He hit the inside of the post. It went right across goal. I thought it was going in. But instead, it went across the goal and not into it. Thankfully for Solihull, just on the edge of the box, he was allowed to shoot across goal. And he thought it was going in. He was already running away in celebration. And it goes off the inside of the post and across the goal line. Oh, that is so close to promotion for Bromley. I think every Bromley supporter had their hands on their heads. Andy Woodman couldn't believe it. And somehow it's still 2-2. Big clearance forward. Helped on, though, by Shade. Headed out wide by Boateng. And it's out for a throw-in for Bromley. Midway inside their own half. I was hoping you get the same amount. I wish we got the same numbers as last year, but that was a bit of a freak stream, wasn't it, really? That was crazy. This one's still good numbers, getting 100 people in. I've not had 100 people in a stream for a very, very long time, so it's nice to see this many people here. And everyone liking as well, that also helps. 5 minutes to go. It's another Bromley throw-in, just inside the Solihull half here. It's definitely Bromley who have been the better side in this extra time period. And it was Solihull who were dominating the game at the end of the normal 90 minutes. Long throwing down the line. Flipped on by Kirk towards Cheek, who heads it back inside, but Cheek was offside as Kirk won his header. So in the left-back position, it's a free kick for Solihull Moors. I think what's so exciting and so intriguing about this game is the fact that, you know, none of these two teams have ever been in the Football League. So we are getting history, one way or another. History is being made. It's just who is going to make that history for their clubs. As that free kick from the offside taken long towards Campbell. Comes off Kirk, headed down the line by Benton to Shade in the final third. He's quite far away from goal at the moment, but he's 1-1 with Kirk here. He's got Newton overlapping at left back, and he'll find him. The ball will go in. It's a low one. It's dealt with, though, by Charles. And out for a throw-in right next to the corner flag for Solihull. And again, it's going to be a long throw-in from Tyrese Shade. He's playing on the left wing at the moment for Solihull, and he's looked a lot better when he's been playing out on that left side. Tyrese Shade throws it in towards the near post. Flicked on and caught in the 6-yard box. Whitmore won the flick on, but no one was there attacking it. The goalie's taking it quickly. Big kick out to the right-hand side. Touchdown by Olamola, and it reaches Whiteley. Olamola still in support, and he finds him. Midway inside the Solihull half, they just slow it down, and they go back to the halfway line to Kirk. And Solihull now have everyone behind the ball. That was my first time watching a year ago for that match. That's crazy. It's been a year ago, isn't it? It doesn't seem that long ago. Reynolds tries to go for a crossfield pass into the box, but no one's making a run. And no one will be making a run like that in the 117th minute. And it's out for a Solihull goal kick. Some supporters just can't bear to watch. Look, some watching through the gaps in their fingers. And it's just an awful feeling, not knowing if you're going to win the game or not, and then having to deal with the penalties if that arrives. It's just a completely different ball game as well. As Campbell up front for Solihull goes down after being pulled down by Grant, who doesn't agree with the decision. And it's a chance for Solihull Moors to launch this in the box with just 2 minutes left to play. Hi, I hope you're okay. I hope everyone is enjoying this. I am thoroughly enjoying this game. It's been a fantastic watch. Both teams properly going for it, playing nice football. Sometimes I think it's a bit too overcomplicated with passes going backwards and sideways and all that, but it's their styles of play and it's obviously worked. It's got them to this point of the season. Benton, the substitute, brought in the second half of normal time, will deliver this into the box. It's a curling ball towards goal. It's a header won, though, by Reynolds for Bromley. It'll drop towards Labadie on the right-hand side for Solihull, who gets there and shrugs off Odeteo. And in the box, Boateng, shot by Whitmore in the end, and wide it goes. I'm surprised a free kick wasn't given for Bromley there. The Labadie challenge on Odeteo. Looked like he'd pulled him down there, but the referee said no. Yeah, his arm went across him. I'm surprised that's been given as no foul. Labadie pulled him back for Boateng. His shot was blocked, and then Taylor played a pass back to Whitmore, and he shot about 10 yards wide in the end. It couldn't have gone much further wide. And with a minute left to play of extra time, it's Bromley 2, Solihull Moors 2. And I mean, what a moment we could have if a team win it now. I mean, that would be something special. Goal kick taken. Goes right through beyond the Solihull back line where Newton's chasing it and he kicks it off. Olamola, and out for a throw-in. Right next to the corner flag on this near side. It's not a great situation for Solihull to concede a throw-in. So deep in their own half, but they've got to try and get this rid here because we are edging ever closer to penalties. Thrown down the line, but headed forward by Grant for Bromley, then headed away by Newton for Solihull. Grant wins it again, though. Hooked over the head of Arthurs towards Olamola, who loses that to Whitmore. Then headed back forward by Grant. Olamola with the ball inside. It's deflected and cleared by Taylor in the end. It's a Solihull. It's a Bromley throw-in as Michael Cheek wins player of the game. He scored both of Bromley's goals. Not really been that involved, Michael Cheek. I know that sounds really stupid, but he's had the chance to score and the penalty, and he's took both, so that's what good strikers do. As Grant crosses in for Bromley towards the far post, good diving header away there by Clark, and Boateng will get onto it, but nothing will happen because we've played 120 minutes of football here at Wembley and it finishes all square. The referee blows the whistle for full time and it finishes here. Bromley 2, Solihull Moors 2. We will have another penalty shootout in this National League playoff final. We had one last season between Chesterfield and Notts County, and we've got another one here between Bromley and Solihull. They just could not be separated after 2 45-minute periods and 2 extra 15-minute periods. And penalty kicks it will be. Could this get any more tense? Let's get some predictions in the chat. People get involved in the chat. Let's speak to me. What do we think? Who do we think is going to win? I know it's hard to predict penalties. I'm not expecting anything sidekick, but let's just get some predictions in. What do we expect from this shootout? Who's going to win? Who do we fancy? Who do we want to win maybe as well? The penalty scores is in the brackets, just to make it clear. So the score for the penalties is in brackets. Thanks for the commentaries. Okay, I'm hoping everyone's enjoying. We're nearly at half a century of likes. 49 likes, fantastic. 134 people here. Solihull keeper shouldn't be on the pitch, but there we go. Well, I know that penalty, maybe, last man challenge, but in fact, I don't think he got a yellow, which surprised me. For the penalty that was given to Bromley in the second half of normal time. Bromley hit the post in the second half of extra time with Alex Kirk hitting the post, and it went right across goal and away. Bromley win this. We've got a Bromley win. What else? What else are we thinking? What do people expect to happen? What predictions have we got going on? I mean, this is it now. This is what you call tension. This is possibly, both teams are 5 kicks away from the Football League for the first ever time. John's going for Bromley. We've got 2 Bromleys. People backing Bromley here so far. $11-10 Solihull. I don't think I can take that. Hoping for Bromley to deflate Solihull for the cup final. I mean, that is great thinking if you're the Gateshead fan. I completely get that. Almost 150 people in here. This is fantastic. Thank you everyone who is here. As we're about to get the spot kicks taken very shortly. We've got, it seems like the majority are more hoping for Bromley win or thinking that Bromley will win. Yeah, make sure you keep liking and subscribing if you haven't already. If you want to become a member of the channel, you can. It's a £5 a month. You get an extra bit of content with a podcast extra. If we could try and hit 1,300 subscribers, that'd be fantastic. I don't know if we already have or not. But if we can hit 1,300, that'd be a great landmark to hit as we end the footballing, or as we come towards the end of the club season anyway. As we've obviously going to be commentating on the Euros as well, that's coming up. But yeah, if we could try and get 12 more subscribers, then that would be absolutely fantastic. We've got Moors there. Oh, I knew someone was going to ask that. I was trying to avoid it. I don't want anyone to win. I haven't got favouritism. I don't mind who wins. For some reason, and I don't know why, I just think Solihull's going to take it, and I don't know why. Like I said, I don't mind who wins. It doesn't really affect me too much. So it's not like I've got favouritism for a team, but I just think Solihull, with the fact they've been behind twice and they've come back twice, I feel like it's just meant to be. But we're going to have to wait and see. It's going to be played. The penalties have been taken at the Solihull end, but Solihull haven't taken as many as Bromley because they're not as big as they don't have as big as a following. So the Solihull fans were actually around the side of the pitch, but as soon as they found out the penalties were behind the goal, they've taken away the sheets that were covering the seats to stop them from getting behind the goal. They've just moved them away and got themselves behind the goal. It's smart, it's clever. So it will be penalties that will be taken towards the Solihull fans. I'm not sure who's got first kick. It's Solihull with the first kick. So Solihull Moors will be taking them in front of their own fans and taking first. And it will be Tyrese Shade to take. Joined on loan from Swindon at the start of February. He became a different player in this game once he was shifted from the right wing to the left. And now they need him to score this first penalty of the shootout. So it'll be Shade to take first. Starting with a rather straight run up. Solihull's number 10. Like I say, straight run. Now he moves across towards the left. Tyrese Shade just walking up towards it. And he shoots towards goal. And it's saved. The first penalty saved by Grant Smith. He's absolutely delighted. Grant Smith decided to dive the right way. Just made it very obvious where he was going there, Shade. Opened up the body, trying to go to the right-hand side of the goal. Smith guessed right and saved. Just telegraphed it too much. And Cheek, who scored a penalty in the last game between these two, in Bromley's 3-0 win against Solihull in the National League in April, he scored again from the spot today to make it 2-1. He's now got another chance from the penalty spot. And he absolutely thunderbolts that down the middle. It goes through the goalkeeper. And Bromley lead the shootout after one penalty each. It's 1-0. Oh, the goalkeeper's got to stop that going in. It goes right through him. Oh, he goes right through him. I can't believe he's not saved it. But Michael Cheek scoring again from the penalty spot. And now Solihull need to score this one. Joss Labadie, who's lost 2 League 2 playoff finals in his career, both at Wembley for Newport. He doesn't want defeat again. Labadie with the penalty. Saved again by Grant Smith. He goes the opposite way. And Bromley are ever so close to League 2 football next season. The substitute who replaced the captain shoots towards the bottom left corner. It's just not a great penalty. A great height. Not too far in the corner. And Grant Smith is becoming more than a hero for Bromley here. And it's 2-0. Well, it could be 2-0 here if Bromley score their next penalty. Needs to go in here if they want a real lead in the shootout. Charles, the midfielder, has his saved. 3 of the opening 4 penalties have been saved. Pretty much identical to Labadie's penalty there from Charles. Going towards the left-hand corner. Not far enough in the corner. It's a nice height for the keeper. And Bromley, after 4 penalties each, lead 1-0. Solihull just need to score this penalty to get one on the board. Over 200 people here for this dramatic penalty shootout. Sorry, I made it 2-0, sorry. 1-0. Get a bit too excited with the scoreboard there. Do apologise. Campbell, the striker for Solihull Moors, sends it to the bottom left corner. And Solihull Moors have scored a penalty. 1-1. Bromley have one extra to take. But they are on the score sheet for the penalties. Grant Smith staying down the middle. And Tavon Campbell putting it to the bottom left corner. And it's 1-1. But Bromley have one extra. As the Solihull Moors goalkeeper checking his bottle with his notes on to see which way he should go for this penalty. Not quite sure who's taking it for Bromley at the moment. They've not shown it yet. It'll be the substitute. Olamola, brought in at the start of the season from Wealdstone. Was once at the Arsenal Academy. And he scores his penalty. Low into the bottom left corner. Hayes went the wrong way. And Bromley, after 3 penalties each, lead 2-1. This needs to go in. Boateng, the substitute, brought on late in this extra time period, needs to score. Because if he misses and Bromley score, they are promoted. Simple as that. Boateng has to put this ball in the back of the net. Right-footed, straight run up, and he sends the keeper the wrong way. Bottom left corner. Very calm penalty. Just walked up towards it. Straight run up. Waited for the keeper to go. And then put it the opposite way. Jude Arthurs now takes for Bromley. Wasn't even named in the matchday squad the last time Bromley were here against Wrexham in the FA Trophy back in 2022. He's now got a chance to put his side one step closer to League Two football. This isn't to win it, but it's to put them in the best of positions. Jude Arthurs for Bromley. He's been told to replace the ball on the spot. Not what you want. A delay of the taking of the penalty. It's another right footer. He's looked left there. He's looked left again. Arthurs takes it. He goes right and he sends the keeper the wrong way. Very clever. I'm not sure if that was intentional. He looks towards the left-hand side of the goal, but he sent the keeper with it. And Bromley are 3-2 up after 4 penalties. If this next Solihull penalty is saved, Bromley are promoted. It cannot be more simple. This has to go in. John Benton with the responsibility, with the pressure on his shoulders here. Grant Smith just taking his time to get back in goal. Benton, short run up, right footed. Hits the post and it goes in. That is lucky. But it keeps Solihull alive. Hit the left side post and went right across goal into the side netting. It almost bounced back out. But it's 3-3. But Bromley have a penalty for promotion. It's their captain, the 37-year-old, Byron Webster, to take. He's won promotion twice in League One through the playoffs. The last time was in 2017. Can he get a promotion again for Bromley? Yes, he can. Bromley promoted to the Football League for the first time ever in their club's history. It's absolute heartbreak for Solihull Moors, who lose another playoff final, this time at Wembley. It's 2 playoff final defeats in 3 seasons. But it's Bromley's time. It's Bromley's day. And for the first time since they were founded in 1874, they are a Football League club. They had the lead twice in the game. They were pegged back twice. It's had to go to penalties. But they have been able to find a way. They lost out in the playoff semi-final last season to Chesterfield. But this time they've gone a step further. They've found themselves in the final. And they've done it through penalties. And their captain, Byron Webster, is the one who sent his penalty down the middle. And what a moment for this historic club to finally have EFL status for the first time. You have to feel sorry for those Solihull Moors players and supporters who will be back here next week. They have an FA Trophy final to play, but this is going to hurt. It's going to sting. They'll have to try and bounce back again next season. But for now, they have to remain in the National League for another campaign. These two sides have met 4 times this season. In the previous 3, they'd both won one each and then drew the other. It's 2 sides that really enjoy a really good battle between each other, and today was no different. a game where at times it was Bromley who dominated, then Solihull got back on top, Bromley took over, Solihull again, it was back and forth, it was really good football to watch. And, you know, football games have to be won one way or another in playoff finals. Sometimes that means penalties, and it's the hardest way to lose, but it's probably the best way to win. And for Bromley, it's probably the best ever way to win. It's probably the biggest win in their club's history. And it's Andy Woodman, the man who has took them to the promised land of the EFL. This is his first ever managerial job, Andy Woodman. For the main chunk of his career after his footballing days, he's been a goalkeeper coach in the Premier League. But took over at Bromley in March 2021. And just over 3 years later, he has got this side promoted. It is absolutely incredible scenes here. But for Solihull, they do have a game next week in the FA Trophy final here at Wembley, so they've got a week to respond. But will this have an impact in that final? Will this haunt them? Fans are in tears. I think both fans are in tears. Happy tears and sad tears. But Solihull will have to go again next week. But for their season in terms of the National League, it's all over. And they remain in this league for another year. Missing your first two penalties always means it's going to be very difficult to try and overturn it. But 3 of the first 4 penalties were missed. Bromley also missed one of theirs as well. But I thought Solihull would do it, but it's Bromley instead. And for the first time ever, they will be in the Football League next season. What a moment. What a game. To do it at Wembley as well, in front of all of their travelling supporters. Over 15,000 came, made their voices heard, and they're certainly making their voices heard now. Let's have a look at the quick chat before I go. Nice, Bromley, congrats to them, and lucky Solihull good luck next season. Come on, Bromley. Come on, the Bromley boys. Congrats to Bromley. Thanks for the commentary. No problem. Your dog's in trouble. Andy, don't even start with the dogs. Honestly, they absolutely do my head in. I do apologise. I can't mute them though, can I? So it's just one of those things. I do apologise. I'm off to Brussels for the derby now. Enjoy that. Thanks for the extra time commentary. No problem at all. But that will be the end of this commentary of the National League playoff final. Make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. It massively helps out the channel. If you want to become a member, you can do. It's £5 a month. You get a members podcast a week as a benefit, and it really does help the channel out. But here at Wembley, we've had another storming National League playoff final where Bromley have taken on Solihull Moors. Bromley took the lead twice. Solihull got back in the game twice. They couldn't be separated in extra time. It took penalty kicks where Bromley were the team to come out on top. They win the penalty shootout by 4-3 after a 2-2 draw after 120 minutes. And it's Bromley who are in the Football League for the first time ever.